Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, you got a light.
yeah. So
Nice.
I set it up for the first time today. It took a year of Zoom and quarantine to be like, I should probably do this.
And now you don't need it anymore.
I'm still me.
Still being you.
Can you hear me clearly?
What are you mostly going to use that for?
Gay porn or regular porn. Just whatever I'm in the mood for.
Yeah, for when it's gay porn, it's usually lower lighting, so don't use it. But regular porn, you need it.
That's true.
Yeah.
Wait a second. Let me plug it out. Shit. I pushed it into the fan.
Hey, I never asked for my consent to be recorded before. I
Do
think
people
it like
usually?
already was whenever I logged in.
Uh, well, it already was when you were logging in, so I don't know why it asked you this time.
Oh, maybe that's a new update.
Uh, I thought you were talking about like your regular life. Like usually men are recording you two having sex, and then you find out
All
later.
the time. If you look on Pornhub and just type in M, mine's the first to pop up. I'm gonna stop Owen real quick. He's driving me nuts.
Owen, shut up.
Nicely handled.
I did it, dude. Is the light on? It looks good. I can't tell.
Yeah, this is at full blast. I mean, it's daytime too, so this is definitely better.
Gotcha. Is it? Is it mostly for this? Are you doing it for the podcast?
This is the first time I've used it.
Yeah.
I set it up today and then I turned it on and I was like, God damn, that's a ring light.
You said it in your most southern accent too.
Yeah. Shucks, huckleberry, dingle fart.
Go fart.
It's a ring light.
I hung out with two Floridians today, and I was thinking of you the whole time. When one was coming from the front, one was coming from the back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Did you kill Owen?
Yeah. I don't have a dog anymore. I'll marry him tomorrow.
Now there's nothing in your life.
Yep, it's empty again, just how I like it.
Let's have an impromptu funeral for Owen, and Tito will do the eulogy.
Gladly. Dear Owen, though you were small, you were mighty of sound.
Nailed it.
Yep, that sums him up real well.
Yeah.
Little and loud as fuck.
I feel
That's
like
all
I
he's
can
good
still
for.
kind of hear him.
You can still hear him if you listen closely.
Yeah,
He
Still haunts the halls.
he still haunts the halls.
Random things go missing. What happened to my case of pens? Something ate them. Yeah.
I've been panicking because I had to message my housekeeper because I've had these, that Mrs. Myers cleaner.
Wait, are you just gonna glaze over the fact that you have a housekeeper?
Yeah,
She knows I'm already baller, so yeah.
Yeah. She always subtly lets us know in some way that she's doing better.
Yeah.
Well, it's more like I don't know how to take care of my own house, so I have to outsource it. So let's glide over the fact that I'm not a real woman.
She's nagging herself. She's trying to go on a date. Okay, so this Myers cleaner.
Yeah, so I had a bottle and it disappeared in March. So I was like, that's really weird. There's nowhere else I would have put it. And so then I bought a new one and I went to use it just recently and it's gone again. But she's the only one that's been to my house since I used that thing last. So it has to be, maybe she's taking it with her on accident. So I texted her a couple hours ago, waiting to hear back. And I'm like, shit, did I piss her off? Did I is this a bad thing to accuse someone of?
It feels like some classist stuff to be like, did you take a bottle of cleaner because I'm not paying you enough?
Well, I think she does have her own stuff, so maybe she just put it with hers and forgot.
It's
So I've
funny
been waiting
because
to get a text back, but then I realized I had my phone. I've had my phone on airplane mode because I've been playing this stupid game, and I've been cheating and like changing the time to get more coins, and so it never sent. She just
it really is empty over there.
Megan, the idea that this is the one, this is like the all-purpose cleaner that she needs most and uses for her vocation, and you're just gonna rip it out from under her.
Well, I mean, the first time I was okay. Second time, it's like I can't keep buying bottles for all your people.
That second time, shame on me.
Second time, shame on. I hit it the second time.
Wow.
Well, hit it thinking that like, I don't know.
Maybe you hid it from yourself.
Yeah, she's not sneaky or nothing. She's not gonna find it.
What's her name, Megan?
Her name is Maria Capilla Cofaya. I'm not gonna give her a name.
Yeah, her full name.
I just called her a thief on live television, and you want me to call her out?
His first name. I just want to know. You know what I'm looking for.
Nope.
You don't know what I'm
I'm
looking
looking for Maria. Let's
I'm looking for Maria.
Let's be real here.
I like.
I only hire Marias and Lupes because I had a Jessica growing up, and she was a shit show. So
Yeah, most Jessicas are.
hence we get housekeepers.
I like that the only two possibilities are your housekeeper stole this bottle of fluid that she would use on another job, or Owen ate an entire 2 bottles of cleaning fluid, and that's actually reasonable.
Or Megan sat on it.
But I would have found evidence of him eating that. And I looked all over my house in case I put it somewhere else, but I don't take it out of my kitchen.
Huh. What a mystery.
I think you should.
I feel like I'm going crazy.
You should put an exploding dye next to it.
You
The
said
third
she
bottle.
When I went to
had a lot of refill. What?
yeah,
Did she text back?
She did text back. She said, I don't know, but I have a lot of that refill. And I have a big old jug of the refill, but I don't have my spray bottle.
She's gonna have. She took it. She's gonna have you buy it back from her at like a discounted price.
You mean an inflated price?
Well, no discount. She's trying to be reasonable. Like she got it for free, so she turns it back for like $12.
She'll make more money than she had before.
I was like, how did she get it for free? Is that a housekeeper trick? Then I realized she stole it.
That's the housekeeper.
Send her something awful over text and then read it to us.
You thieving bitch. I no longer trust you. You can take your refills and shove them up your ass.
Before
Don't try and repair this. I am worried though that I'm gonna find like my 2 missing bottles in these. I checked my fridge. Like I don't know where I would have put them, but I'm worried that they're gonna show up now that I messaged her.
You're gonna feel like a real Karen.
I don't want.
She's already on her way to jail. I called in all my favors over a bottle of cleaner.
Yeah.
Less than $10 of cleaner. I think she needs to be locked up for a long time for that.
All the cops.
Before you joined the stream, me and Dylan made a pact. Like, okay, let's keep it real light with the joking. Nothing overtly racist, Dylan. And then we did a Zoom handshake, and then you showed up and started this.
Yeah.
Did you really?
No.
Oh, I was going to say sometimes
We would never.
that's the handshake or pact you guys need to make with each other.
Yeah. Tito and I have to talk about how we need to keep it on the DL because we're too hot. We come in too hot with our all of our isms. I feel like I'm orange.
Hot takes.
The hot takes. Okay, I'm not that orange. I thought
Is Phil an entity today?
I don't know where Phil is. You're the Phil for this week because Megan, Phil, and I met up last week, and then Phil left after about an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And then Dylan and I talked about for 3 more hours.
We talked for a really long time.
We should have recorded ours, Dylan. You idiot.
We should have. It was actually a really good conversation. It was not as good as Megan. Like Megan and I have definitely made the best episode of DTF so far.
Good.
And I cut it all out because Megan's got hang-ups and bullshit that she talks about people.
It was basically like a therapy session. And I was like, I haven't talked about this stuff with my parents yet. I probably shouldn't. about.
Therapy session involved me or Phil because we weren't there.
Yeah, I was like mommy and daddy, Tito and Phil.
Dude, we got real deep. Megan took out a titty at one point. It was crazy.
That's Dylan's idea of deep. I really connected with this lady. She showed me a boob.
So she knows she trusts you.
Yeah, she's the one.
Nobody's just offering nipples. Who offers nipples?
All my female friends see my boobs. I offer that up quite a bit, but it's more like, you want to do something funny?
What? You want to do something funny?
It's usually junk, and I'm like, you guys, you know how we need to build our trust? Let's show each other boobs. So like we have a good image.
Meg, this is going to be a very personal question, but I want you to answer it honestly. Is it how sensitive is the teat? Are you aroused?
Tito?
Not Tito.
I'm pretty
So
sensitive.
sensitive, you Tito. Is this conversation offending you?
Yeah, I'm pretty. The teat is pretty sensitive.
You know this teat is sensitive, but your teats, both of them.
Why do you care?
I'm excited. I just got excited. That's all.
This is him getting deep with you.
This is deep.
He misses that deep conversation that we had.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have it to like compare it with any other boobs. Like, how sensitive is your teat?
Compared to any other part of you that is sensitive.
How sensitive are your nipples, Dylan?
Not at all. They're not very sensitive.
Yeah, mine, like, there can be like a little spark sometimes, but
My very first girlfriend from high school, like she could get off completely with nipple play.
that's amazing.
Yeah, she was like, she had a fucking superpower. She could think about orgasming and then she would do it. Like, no joke.
Lucky bitch.
She's lucky bitch. So that's what I'm asking you, Megan. Like, how deep does this sensitivity go?
I mean, it's fine. I dated a guy the same though, but I feel like that's weird for guys. Like he was real into nipple play for himself.
Oh.
So I was like, this feels different.
Yeah, because so he was doing stuff to his own nips, and you're like lying there.
No, he wanted me to like do stuff to his nips. He was real into it.
Did he have hair?
And so I was like, how did I get into this situation here?
You like nipple play, but not your own.
I mean, I don't mind it, but I don't know. I think I'm too much of a prude I want to be more like that one girl where I just think about it, but most of the time I'm like, okay, breathe, do that. Very in my head a lot of the time. So
yeah, that makes sex tough, I think, when you're in your head the whole time.
I've gotten better at it, but
you gotta disconnect.
I think I do pretend like I don't pretend, but it does feel like someone's filming me. So I'm like, oh, okay, look nice for the camera. Do this.
You're trying to find your angles the whole time.
Yeah.
No, we can't do this because I do not look good like that. You will not enjoy that, mister. And I will be worried about it the whole time.
Oh, no. Well, that's weird, feeling like you're always being filmed.
That's why I just like good old missionary. He can't see anything. We're just, it's happy.
It's happy.
That was like the cutest way of describing missionary.
Yeah, or sex. It's happy.
Happy.
Yeah, I like
Shouldn't that be enough? Shouldn't that be enough for sex?
it. Should.
Like missionary and you feel happy, and that's okay. But we are so far beyond there.
You are.
Yeah, you are, and
Probably Dylan.
And Fish is, and I'm not as much. Like Fish is way past me. Like there's like
Dylan likes to wake up with like a foot in his mouth. Like that's Dylan.
That's the extent. Doesn't get any crazier than that.
Yeah.
I just wish Phil were here so I could ask him all these questions that he would feel real uncomfortable answering.
How are your nips, Phil?
Yeah. How do you think Phil's nips, like 1 to 10, how sensitive is Phil's nips?
You know, if you want to stay friends with guys, you don't think about the sensitivity of their nipples or anything like that. You think of them as Ken dolls. They have no.
Wait. If you like, are you saying as a girl, if you want to stay friends with guys?
yeah, it's just best not to. So like you and Tito don't even have nipples either. So
We're nippleless in your head.
He doesn't
You're
even see us
nippleless,
as complete
you're
human
just
beings.
there. What?
You don't even view us as complete human beings.
I mean, that's what guys do to women all the time. It's kind of the opposite. It's
True.
like
It's-
you guys just see boobs and vag. I see no nips and dick.
Wait. So when you picture us, we're dickless.
Yeah, like if I pulled down your pants, it'd be a Ken doll.
yeah, or it'd be just like an empty portal, and you're like, where does this go? And you reach your hand in, and it just goes forever. Black hole. That's how Megan views it.
It's a magical mystery tour.
Yeah.
Messaging Phil, I got to.
All right. Some car alarm. What's going on? There's always some shit going down, dude. Like the guy next door, I seen him in a stretcher twice in the last month. He's a real old white dude. I live next to an underpass, so there's like fires happening all the time. Like no joke, like once every other week there's a fire truck that has to come through and put out a fire underneath because there's a lot of homeless people that live there. And they're doing one of two things. They're lighting fires, one of three things. They're lighting fires for fun.
Uh-huh.
They're lighting fires for warmth.
Uh-huh.
They're lighting fires because they're trying to like whatever drug takes fire. What's the cocaine? Is that what do you?
I think
No,
mushrooms take fire.
No, you don't. Well, if you're making some soup,
Yeah.
yeah.
Under the bridge, making mushroom soup.
Bridge soup.
Sorry,
That makes sense because you light you're like, oh, I haven't had a bath in a while. I'm gonna light a fire. Fire truck comes, sprays us all down. Now I'm clean. Social life. If you're homeless.
So it's like when you're hungry and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna do something to the cops so they could take me into jail so I could eat.
Yeah, like they're beating the system, and I don't appreciate it. It's a free ride. These homeless people have had a free ride too long. Don't want the firemen to show up. Let that fire just rage.
Dude, this is so crazy inverted. I love it.
Yeah.
The like logical hoops you have to jump through, I think, for so many of these like
great ideas that I have.
These systems of thoughts, well, I mean, for people that genuinely feel that way, right? Of like, well, there's these people that are down and they have nothing, and so we just got to keep kicking them while they're down, and we got to keep saying that they're the reason my life sucks, even though my life doesn't suck. I don't know. It's bizarre.
I missed a large part of that, so I can't contribute. But I'm all for kicking people when they're down. Fuck yeah. Socialism sucks.
Were you texting Phil?
I messaged Phil, and then I also responded to my housekeeper.
I'm so sorry. I'll double your pay. Please come again and clean my house.
Wait, is Phil your housekeeper?
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh.
Felipe? That was the name you were looking for, right?
Felipe with an F.
I did notice on last time Phil had a lot of cleaner in the background.
Son of a bitch.
Did he leave? Is he on his 2-week?
He's in Taos right now.
Yeah.
He's in Taos.
So his big United States tour is Taos?
Yes.
Nice.
I don't know if it's going out further than that. But that's where his parents live, so that's where he's staying.
Okay.
Going back to where you were born.
Yeah.
He's going back to his roots. There's so many movies about that. Like, we can't judge him for
He's trying
being
to
a
get his
classic
root back.
American movie.
Yeah.
Going back to his Taosian roots.
Taoisian? Taos.
What's in Taos? As somebody from New Mexico, like I've been there once. What is there to do? It's just a
I think it's like a small Santa Fe.
Yeah, I've been there once too.
Okay.
I went there for a Mumford and Sons concert. I won tickets, and it was the strangest place for a because they had it in like just this little park, so it was like standing on grass. They were in kind of this because their setup was fine, but it just wasn't meant for concerts.
I've seen artists go through there for concerts. I'm like, why would you go there? You're going to get 5 people to show up.
There were quite a few people there, but
I think what it
wasn't my
is,
favorite venue.
Taos is beautiful.
It's very pretty.
Like it's very pretty. And when I went there, I got to see it sunny, and I went to the mountains and I shot guns, and I held one of the guns sideways, and the guy took it from me because he's like, "Hey, you're not supposed to have that much fun with guns." I was like, "What's the point of owning guns?"
Exactly.
Yeah, and then later on that trip, it was 4th of July, and then like we had this beautiful storm, and just the bluster and like the dark clouds over the mountains. It was gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
So I would travel to Taos again to like connect with nature.
Mm-hmm. I went up there to snowboard because I know there's a big snowboard thing up.
Yeah, it seems like a very like
I love that Tito gave this beautiful like description of Taos. You're like, I go to snowboard.
Yeah, I binded my feet.
bunnies.
I binded my feet to a 2x4 and I went down a mountain.
A 2x4.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
That's what snowboarding used to be. For all this fancy smanchy stuff. I like to keep it OG.
It's legit.
I've broken every limb, but that's the price of keeping it real. Well, did I make a list of topics and things that have happened over the past 2 weeks to talk about?
Did you?
No, you didn't.
Oh.
Okay,
I'm so happy.
I got something. I've been trying to get therapy, like personal therapy, a therapist.
Lame.
Day.
Pick yourself on your own. Be a man.
Be a man. That's a weird kind of accent thing you had there. So I like 2 weeks ago, I was like, all right, I'm going to try to do everything. I'm going to like schedule my appointment for my teeth and schedule my appointment for my eyes and then maybe try to get a therapist. So I was like back and forth with the hospital / insurance. There's an insurance company / entire hospital company called Kaiser out here in California. And they do everything in-house. So like if you have insurance through them, that's where you see your general practitioner. That's also where you get your eyes done. And like everything's in one place. Anyways,
it's like 3-in-1 shampoo, body wash, conditioner.
That's exactly what this place is.
What a building.
So it was nice because I could just like, all right, I'm just gonna do everything through them. They don't do teeth though. But anyways,
Lame.
Trying to like do this back and forth with this therapist. I finally got a hold of somebody that was like, okay, I will schedule with an intake therapist and then blah, blah, blah. So I have a conversation with the intake therapist like 2 days ago. And she does this whole survey. It's a ton of questions. Like,
is she cute?
Kind of, I don't know, normal looking woman.
Okay, so like you're gonna think about having sex with her like a few sessions in because you get comfortable with her. Then you're gonna think about fucking her. Just letting you know.
You'd hope so, but here's what happened was after she's just the intake therapist, by the way. So she wouldn't be my therapist. She's just like writing down all the stuff and doing all the probably not so fun parts. And so she's asking me all these questions and I answer all of them. And at the end of it, so it's like kind of like survey, like very much kind of not really and absolutely not, kind of that kind of thing. And then like normal questions towards the end, like more of a conversation, like, all right, tell me a little bit about yourself, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So after all of that, after like 45 minutes, she's like, yeah, you don't need therapy. I'm like, what? Like, I'm trying to get a therapist. She's like, yeah, but I don't think you'd have any goals. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I probably have like a few goals that I could have. Number one though, like I want to like quell this anxiety. Like I told you guys, if like the anxiety has been getting worse. Yeah, like 2 months ago, like I had like a 3-day anxiety attack. It was real bad. Remember, yeah, I did tell you, I think I told you I just started meditating for like hours and hours.
So you already have strategies. This bitch is right. You're fine.
When someone says something like, I was meditating for hours and hours, like, I assume it has to be hyperbolic. Like, you can't actually be literally meditating for like 3 hours in a day straight. That's not what you mean, right?
No, that wasn't straight. But I would say like within
What
that,
does it look like?
within a day, maybe 2 hours straight.
That's
And
amazing.
and then skipping for a few hours and then getting back to it again. So over the course of the 3 days, I mean, I probably for a total of like 5 hours of meditation or something.
Dope.
But anyways, just at the end of the whole ordeal, I was just very surprised that she's like, yeah, I think you don't need, that's basically what she said, what Megan said. She's like, okay, well, you have strategies and I'll give you some more. But then my best guess is because everything's done in-house and they only have a certain amount of like therapists and all that stuff, I think they're just like trying to weed people out that don't need it as much as others. Because
Sure.
and my guess, they also have a high intake rate right now because of COVID and everybody's depressed and whatever. So I think I have to go outside the network is what I'm going to have to do, which is fine. But I just wish they'd be more upfront about it or tell me that I'm fucked up instead of telling me how awesome I am. Because they just said like 10 out of 10, you're probably a perfect person.
Would you like us to tell you that?
No.
Because we can.
Or if she was like, you're a narcissist and we can't fix that.
Yeah.
That's what Fish thinks. Fish certainly thinks I'm that. So I got to fix that too. I have a lot.
Every girl that's dating a man thinks that their guy's a narcissist. I think just like male qualities are not narcissistic.
What?
There is a way higher rate of narcissism among men, and then women have a higher rate of, what is it like bipolar or?
No, I think men are just confident and women are narcissists.
Nailed it.
You know, I'm just like confidently walking into a room. You're the one that's taking selfies.
I like it. I do think about that though sometimes too. I was like, narcissist, you're taking selfies. I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, being a narcissist is a little more than just taking selfies. I have a minor in psychology, so I'm really smart about this.
Dude, you're like Britta in Community.
Exactly. I relate to her too much.
I can't handle like too many big ideas. I just got to boil it down. You know?
What do you mean?
I can't. Megan was saying I probably don't have a great grasp on this concept, and I'm agreeing with her, but I'm being defensive about it.
Oh. But narcissists do.
So, do you just feel like you've dated a ton of narcissists? Is that what you're saying?
I just know that every time things are going south in a relationship, my girlfriends will be like, "Oh, he's a narcissist." And it's like,
women like grouping together, banding together.
I think we do overuse that term. I think there's also this weird thing of women tend to give men a lot of that power. So I mean, sometimes men think the world revolves around them because they've been taught that it does. And so when we decide that we don't want to do that anymore, we kind of try and blame the guys for like, well, he let me cook for him all the time and take care of him, and now I don't want to do it. So I think he's a narcissist.
Yeah, it's a weird two-way thing. Yeah, I agree with this.
My therapist was like she's like, so it sounds like you're functioning, like is not affecting your work or like your ability to do things or you being a student or your relationships in general or whatever, like the anxiety. And she's like, I think you might even have some symptoms of depression too. And I was like, no, I don't think so. And I was like, and as far as I understand, as far as what a diagnosis requires through like the DSM, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, like you have to,
So
5.
you forgot that part,
You
Mr.
have to
Sorry.
be like non-functioning. I think that's the whole point, is like you're diagnosed with something because you can't function
Yeah.
in either your relationships or your ability to do things. And I was like, yeah, I don't think it's like I'm not able to do things. I think
Well,
I
I think
am.
a lot of therapy is they teach you like strategies to overcome some stuff. So like I've always felt that I have OCD, but no one's ever like straight out diagnosed me with it because I have my obsessions and I have like my strategies to deal with it, but like I know like, okay, well, if I do this, then I can like get over it and move on. So it doesn't keep me from like being compulsive, but
But if it was interfering with how you interact with others, if it was interfering with your work, somebody would have diagnosed you with that.
so I think it interferes, but I think I also mask it. Because growing up, I always had these things, and my dad would just be like, don't do that. I was like, oh, okay. So I'm still worried about it, but I can't let people know that I'm fucking nuts.
What are the
What am I'm not really aware of it until it's like happening. It's kind of a lot of like germs and order. Religion's fucked up a lot of the time too. Like when I turn off my light, I have to be like, okay, well, I have to get into like my bedroom before, because it's on a timer. So I'm like, before this light goes off, I have to be in my bedroom or the devil's gonna take my soul. So I like run to my bedroom as fast as I can.
You live in the Conjuring universe? What are you talking about?
It's just something I've done like ever since I was a child. Like I just have these things like, okay, well, the devil's gonna take my soul unless I like touch every button on a remote constantly, and I'll like have to do it the same amount of time. And then if I don't do it right, I start over.
Dude, it all has to do with going to hell.
I don't know if it's all, that's just one that I can think about. It's like a challenge to myself. Like, okay, race to your bedroom and the devil's gonna take your soul.
Is that still going on with you?
Yeah, I did it like last night. It happens like every time I turn off. And I've been doing it since I was a child. So it's things that I don't notice.
That's a really challenging thing to do.
Like, I don't think adults do this shit.
There are therapists that focus on religious trauma, because religion's incredibly traumatizing, especially when it has to do with like, you're going to go to the fiery depths of hell for eternity unless you stop having vaginal sex or whatever. So when people leave the religion, there's people that specifically, they're like therapists that focus on like, oh, this person has lifelong trauma with Catholicism or Christianity or whatever the hell.
And I don't even necessarily think that I believe in like heaven or hell anymore. I'm pretty agnostic. Not necessarily atheist. We talked about this last time. I'm not an atheist necessarily. I don't think I believe in hell. I think heaven's something kind of a little different, but it's still like, better not take that chance. Like you could be wrong. You don't want to be playing with that hell shit. So, and that's definitely gonna send you to hell by not stepping into the light at the right time.
Pretty sure hell is what Lil Nas X says.
That hell looks fun. I'd be down for that hell.
Yeah. It's funny to hear you talk about this, because I just listened to, not too long ago, an interview with a really great comic. He's a roast comic, and he talked to this guy, Ari Shafir, about this exact thing. He was raised very religious, and he developed, I don't remember the term for it, but like OCD, some kind of habit over religion and like fear of the devil and going to hell. And it would turn into this thing where like he had to say his prayers, and then he would need to like gulp 5 times and then get to bed or whatever. Or like if he didn't do it right, like he would end up going to hell. And it got to be such a huge, massive pattern that he couldn't keep up with. If he would fail, he'd have to do the pattern again and again. And so he would spend like 8 hours, and like his throat would be sore, and like he would be driving himself crazy. And then you have to get up in 20 minutes to go to school. And it's still with him, and it's lessened, but it was a fascinating, intense conversation.
So I'm terrified of I saw The Aviator when I was a kid, and I was like, I relate to this guy really hard.
I never
And
saw.
I was like, huh?
I never
Do
saw.
you guys know The Aviator? It's Howard Hughes.
Yeah,
based off of a person, right?
Yeah, so Howard Hughes is like a billionaire that had like a germophobia, but obsessive compulsive. and he ended up like locking himself in a penthouse in Vegas, like drinking his own urine. He was completely naked and wouldn't let anyone see. And I was like, yeah, I better get this shit in check. So
So
it's like I'll indulge myself a little bit, but then I'm like, Howard Hughes, Howard Hughes.
Yeah, because if you don't get it in check, like you're not gonna let anybody watch that happen. You
If
know?
what? I can't make a movie about it if I don't get it in check.
Well, like if you're gonna be like drinking your own pee and like in a penthouse, but like nobody's watching, like that's terrible. Like Howard Hughes wouldn't let anybody in.
get paid for it, Megan.
Yeah, get
I
paid.
should do an OnlyFans. You're right. When I get to that level is when I'll do an OnlyFans.
I will genuinely pay to watch you drink your own pee. You don't even have to be naked. I'll
Just to
Wow.
watch me steadily decline into
Madness.
we should start a
Like a psychotic break OnlyFans.
yes, thank you. Thank you.
Oh, that's so dark. Like men watching like a woman go insane. You're like, I'm getting my money's worth.
it's called marriage. Boom.
Boom.
They're already doing that on Twitch and all those channels. Like you keep hearing about these dudes who like, yeah, he choked out his girlfriend for 20 gems on Twitch or whatever. And like,
What?
yeah. People are dying because of like the crowdsourcing of like, yeah, just keep paying me in my bits or in donating to my channel and I'll do this thing on. And now these people are like on trial. Like it's happened a few times in the last year. One of them I watched a little bit of. He stuck his girlfriend outside.
You watched it live?
No, I donated to it though. No, he got paid just enough, and then he like stuck his girlfriend outside, and then I saw the stills.
And it was cold, right?
It was super cold. Yeah, and brought her back in. And he's like, she's passed out or something. What's going on? And she was dead because it was Russia in the middle of the night.
So some Russians killed her.
The Russian. He stuck her outside. A Russian shot her in the head, and he brought her back in.
Like, oh, it's Russian interference.
Collusion. Are we gonna talk about that Phil logged on or
I was just waiting to find the right time to check my mic, but like all this pee drinking talk, I just wanted to wait,
don't want your face
wait my turn.
Mike's
Hi,
Hi,
let's
Phil.
see. Good, cool.
Ooh, this is
Oh my
Phil's
gosh, I
bedroom.
look like I'm gonna tell you a tale.
Yeah.
A tale of how I never made it from sea.
never made it from sea? Are you still
Yeah.
Mhm.
Let's see.
Phil,
Ooh, is that better?
is this your
Hi, what's up?
Dang.
Did you
This looks very different than the last time I saw you, which was outside in the sun on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're in a
Yep. I'm an adventurer now. I got a fedora.
oh,
I've been solving a lot of crime lately out in the sticks.
that doesn't even
So-
look like a fedora. What is that?
I mean, it's my crime solving
The
hat.
ladies wore in the 30s.
Oh, it's just really high.
yeah, it's a tall fedora. It's like you could keep like a snack in your head.
This is where I keep all my clues. I'm like, what? A finger. I had it here.
That hat makes you look like you're like a constable ready for a night on the town.
It looks like
Mrs. Aloysius, would you care to escort me to the Haybarn dance?
It's a great
The
name.
Haybarn
to
dance.
play some smooth jazz.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you.
want to
Wait,
go
hold
by
on. Where's my
Megan
bass?
Aloysius now. I'm changing my name.
Hallelujah.
Hey guys, I love Santana. I'm here for the audition. And,
Santana.
call me El Mágico.
Killing it with all this prop comedy.
Thank you. That's what I've been working on out here.
Yeah, Phil's gonna pull out a slinky any moment.
Whoa. Uh-oh.
Okay, I don't think you heard me the first couple times. Phil, is this your childhood bedroom?
No.
That is his childhood pet, though. He kept the bones.
Nice.
Right.
Dude, there's
And I made little Skullhead.
there's an arcade next to you.
Yeah. This is my dad's office.
What?
So-
That is
Yeah,
awesome.
the little rampage.
Is that
So
the one
yeah,
with the
I mean-
monkey?
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't played it yet, but yeah. So I'm over here. I'm learning and doing things. I pretty much gave it all up to be a Santana bass player. So
The dream.
Are you plugged in right now? Is your bass plugged in right now?
no,
I was really hoping you were going to go and you were going to do something.
yeah.
What's it like having a father who's cooler than you?
I don't know. I just aspire to be like him. So
Oh, that's nice. I like
I'm
it.
trying to play.
So how's
yeah.
how's your tour going? Your
My
travel?
world tour. My world tour. It's cool. It's fun. I'm just kind of learning. Yeah, I've been growing. Let's see. I planted radishes. I planted carrots, pumpkins. I have a big pumpkin patch, and peas, squash, and a few other things. So I'm
Wait.
gardening right now.
Yeah, I feel like I asked you the question that I didn't expect the answer to.
You got a really great answer.
Yeah, you were talking a couple weeks ago about how I'm gonna go traveling, and then you answered your answer was gardening.
Yeah,
Garden
I'm
and
doing
travel.
everything. Well, I guess I don't know. So yeah, I mean, I've been checking out the pretty much all the mountain and trails here in Taos. Have you guys ever been?
We talked about Taos briefly while you were gone.
In Taos?
Yeah, I went to Taos once, and what I remember from it is that it's beautiful. Like, it's a great
Mhm,
place if you're in like a nature mood.
mhm. Yeah. So I mean, I'm not a nature person,
Oh, I know.
but
This is blowing my mind. I remember the days when it was like, "Hey, Phil, do you love anything? No. Do you hate anything? Yes. What is it? The sun."
I do hate the sun still. I'm not. That hasn't changed. All right.
Well,
I still
you're
got
doing
my
a really
sunscreen.
good job.
That's why I got my hat. Okay, because it keeps the sun out.
You're gonna need a better brim on that hat. Coming from a
If the
ginger,
sun's
I
out,
will
they'll
teach you.
keep it cool.
Exactly. The sun stays away because they're like, whoa, is that Darren Malonkian from friggin' System of a Down right there?
Nice. That's dope.
Like, stay away. So yeah, I mean, I've just kind of I'll be back next week into Albuquerque. I got a few things to do. So if you guys, well, not Dylan, but if you guys want to hang out, I'll probably reach out.
Well,
So
even if you were in Albuquerque, it'd be the same.
I
I'd
don't
be like,
know I haven't checked my mailbox, but I know my friend sent me some mail that's telling me, hey, you need to get back to Albuquerque because she's getting married. So I know I'm gonna have to come out there at some point. So I'll let you know.
oh, cool. Yep.
Phil,
For sure.
I want you to like sing smooth jazz covers of metal songs.
That's so cool. Yeah,
Mr.
I
What was his
I
name?
think I could do that. Yeah.
Richard Cheese.
Richard Cheese.
Oh yeah, he was big with Dawn of the Dead, right? That was his his
Get
launching
Get
point.
down with the sickness, you up, get up, we gotta get. Yeah,
That's it.
Yeah.
he
He
did a
was
lot.
at the end of The Hangover.
He was in The
He
Hangover.
did.
He was at the very end when like they finally have the wedding. He's the one that's singing. He's the house band.
I remember that.
Oh,
Yeah, he's the best.
notorious.
If you haven't looked him up, Megan, he's done a ton of songs, but he
That
makes
wasn't who's the guy in Old School? I want to say Nick something.
Will Ferrell?
Nick Fordston?
Nick Cave.
He did the I fucking need you now tonight. I fucking need you more than ever. Wasn't he
Andrew
the Hangover
WK.
band? He was the band in Old School at the wedding. I think was the same band in Hangover.
It might have been, which would be Richard Cheese.
band.
Maybe he had a
guy
different.
that turned.
No, something less dairy. I don't know.
The Dan Band.
The Dan Band, and
But-
he's married to.
Oh,
Is this a different performer though?
They
I'm pretty
like
sure the
do
Dan
other
Band was in
parodies,
Hangover
right?
in Old School because it was the same director.
Yeah,
So
it
I'm
does say
thinking
that
it wasn't Rick Cheese in The Hangover.
it did say that he was in both of them, and then I don't know if Richard Cheese was in Hangover, but
Oh, I was making an assumption. I feel like an ass.
I mean he may have been, but I don't see it.
I feel like Owen's butt. out of frame. Oh, it's his head. Never mind.
Face.
Are we boring you, puppy dog? I'm sorry.
He
Do you
had me
need a
locked in the
smooth
room.
bass line or
So
something?
I still
That'd be
prefer-
cool. Have you like that's a really fun idea to do like smooth jazz bass or smooth jazz covers, but like metal. Because it just makes me think since I've been doing TikTok stuff, like there's a channel for like everything. So I wonder if that's out there. Because if not, that'd be a super fun thing to try.
You should totally do it. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, I would download the app if you did it.
Yeah, and it would fit like a 10-second time frame of just saying like, "Master, where's the dreams that I've been after, Master?" Right.
I
Or
just wish I had like a little tiny saxophone so I could like do the solos
Yeah.
justice, to
Okay.
nice sax solo.
So since Phil is probably the only TikToker friend I know, how do you all consume your stuff? Do you consume it in 10-second chunks like TikTok, or do you still prefer to consume it like in 15 or 10-minute, or like what
Are
is
you talking about media? The way you ingest media?
Yeah, because I mean, clearly the trend is that things are going to be like 1 second long eventually, and that's all like we're going to have the time span for. So like, what is your normal length that you like to ingest media?
I can last for about like 4.5 minutes before I turn the porn off.
That's awesome.
It's a long time, my friend.
I've been training during quarantine.
He's a man now.
Breathing exercises.
I totally know what you mean, because it's now that I have to like now since I do like all my videos are like 15 seconds, and it is very challenging to try and come up with something, because also in the app I'm not as good as everybody else is. So like if I screw a part up, or if I just don't say it fast enough, I have to go back and try and fit it in, and make it look natural too, because it looks so weird when you're just trying to throw in, hey, it just takes, a second is longer than you think on there to try and record. Here's my actual prop.
How do we make comedy to get rid of anything extraneous and just the comedic part?
That's pretty much what we're down to now. It's just the hits, the bits. I don't know.
No nuance.
But I know videos that are even longer than like 5 minutes, a lot of times on YouTube, it's like, I don't know if I have the time for this right now.
I think go ahead.
They've been like doing shorts on YouTube now too, to try to like compete with TikTok, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I just downloaded TikTok, and like I'm afraid to touch it.
Yeah.
Like it just seems like such video crack. But on YouTube, like the shorts will come up, and I'm like, oh, I'll skim through these, and it's really fun because generally you're gonna feel like it was time well spent. I really made the most of that 10 seconds, and it's just
yeah. I just feel like I have some aversion to it, because like I feel like every teenager thinks they're super funny, and TikTok is like got to be 70% teenage boys and girls making things that they think are funny, and is probably super funny to people of their age. And I feel like really old because I've like watched I don't know, I've seen some of the things or seen some of the trends. The worst one being, did you guys watch this TikTok trend where the people that were kids dressed up like as Holocaust survivors?
No, I haven't. I want to see this.
They dressed up as Holocaust survivor. It was one of those trends, so everybody else has to do it now too. So you dress up as a Holocaust survivor, you put dirt on your face.
They're doing another one too, yeah.
And mud under your nails, and then you just like, it says something in the bottom. You know how kids don't talk anymore, they just put the little letters on the screen, and it says something like, the look you give when they give you just a small piece of bread. And it's like, and it's under the comedy or something. It's bizarre.
Oh my god!
It's,
Yeah, they have it.
it's
There is a more recent than I know of.
it's really bad.
Wait,
Yeah, there's like really dumb trends that go on because I haven't seen that one, but there was one that was going around that yeah, it was pretty messed up. Like I think it was a Russian meme though. It was like something like that where you go up to an person from who of Indian descent or whatever, and you do their dance, kind of mocking them in front of it. That was getting a lot of traction. But I mean, like, I don't know. That it depends too on what you're following. So if you're just like looking at all these like rough
Dylan's
things,
following hate crimes, and that's why he's getting.
yeah. If you, so I mean, hashtag hate crime, you know, usually brings up what you're looking for. But yeah, like
He's
that's
revealed a
the
lot
weird
about
thing.
what he's following.
That's like the weird thing though, because if you are like following a certain trend or these certain things, then it'll just the algorithm, the computer will just feed you videos it thinks you are interested in because it's all computer generated. So I mean, that's kind of what's going on. You just, I guess, have to be aware of it. Because in my experience, I just see a lot of older people on TikTok who are on it. Like my little brother in particular, he showed me there's like a bunch of older people who are just on there and they're playing music, but you can't hear them. They're talking to it, but they have the music on and they're just like telling you about their day, but you can't hear anything except the music. It's kind of cute.
what is Dylan looking up right now? He's looking up something that's going to shock us. Oh boy!
Oh,
I won't play the sound, but it's like,
I'm so sorry. Thank you.
oh, they're playing people that died from the Holocaust. This particular one. I saw
is this
other
supposed to
ones.
be funny or like teaching us about Holocaust victims?
Who cares? You shouldn't do it.
Wait, I'm blown away that like Dylan finally has a line.
Is it kind of like they couldn't do blackface anymore, so they decided to do Auschwitz face?
Auschwitz face is Jew face.
Yeah, you meant to say Jew face. Come on.
I mean, they also had like gays and some other races in there too, right? Mostly Jews.
Wait. Gay
I think
face?
it could be
Like I can laugh at this on some level, like, holy shit, I can't believe this is a thing. So to me, this is not the worst trend, even though it's like morally terrible. And the worst trend to me is when they're doing like a two-person stage thing where it's like, hey babe, look what I found, and then she's like, what is this? And it's just like super overly fake reactions because they don't know how to act at all, and it's multiple camera angles, so I cannot buy into this at all, and so I'm just angry the whole time. I can't laugh at it.
Look,
Like I could on that.
I'm doing something secret behind them, and they don't know anything about it.
Oh, it's so dumb.
It's kind of like, it's almost like they have magicians on TikTok, but they like show you how they do it. So it's not really a reveal. Like the whole time they're like, shh. And then they just show you the whole trick and it's like, oh, and it's just like, we saw you do the whole thing. What was the point of that? Like you didn't like stun us first. It's just like, I'm going to just ruin everything from beginning to end.
I'm not going to show you a trick. I'm just going to show you behind the scenes of a trick. So you don't even know it's a trick.
Yeah, and it's like hashtag magic. It's like, what?
Or it's like there's like they have like their assistant or prank involved, and like I'm gonna do this magic on this woman, and it's always like some like super hot woman, and it's like, quick, you have to like take off your dress for something. It's some stupid bullshit. Like, okay, now I accidentally spilled some wine on your dress. Here's a trick that'll get the wine out. Take off the shirt. And she's like, what? What? This is crazy. You're pouring a
like,
bag
I'll just
of
brain wash it when I get home. Thanks, Perv.
It's so dumb.
Oh, she's in on it is the other part. That's the whole
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'd rather watch 1,000 teenagers dress up like Auschwitz victims.
There's a guy. I just wouldn't watch either. There's a guy called, I think he's,
I mean, you can report them because, yeah, those are weird things to keep around. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. But
So you're suggesting that we should report on Jewish people? Music video.
or like memes that are
Sounds like
mocking
actually
them,
Jewish.
you know?
Yeah,
Things that support hate images you can report. So,
this is true.
Well, definitely magicians behind the scenes seems like defeats the point of magicianship. So there's that. And then
Well,
like
do you guys remember that 90s show?
Yes, the magic
Um,
magician.
I loved those, but my we had
oh,
some
the
family
masked
friends that were friends
magician.
with a guy that's a magician in Vegas, and he was like, "We fucking hate that guy. He's ruining everything for us." And we're like, "He's the best. What do you mean? What do
yeah,
you mean he's destroying your career?"
there's a magician's
I mean,
code.
Penn and Teller kind of do that. Like I like how Penn and Teller do it because they're like upfront about it, you know, but they also like twist it, you know, so it's like you do get fooled by them still. You still have that like moment of like, wait, how did they just do that?
They don't open the door all the way for you, but they
Mhm.
give you a peek in a nice, clever way.
Yeah.
You guys know who Darren Brown is?
Yeah.
Is that Scott's brother?
I know. But I was thinking of Scott. I can't remember if
He also can't make it onto the podcast.
yeah, damn it. We invited Darren and he couldn't make it out. I can't remember if Scott's the one that said this or somebody I knew, somebody I follow online said something like I hate the videos where they go like, and it's like somebody said
This is
like
my age. This is my sign. This is what I do. This is
someone
my rhyme.
wrote something like I feel like it was Scott, like if you're pointing to the words on the screen that are popping up on the screen, I'm gonna get to it. You don't have to point to it clearly, or you could just say the thing. I don't know. Why do you gotta type it out? Or your voice sucks or something? Maybe I don't know.
I follow a vet on. I follow like TikTok people on Instagram. That's kind of how I get my TikTok because I'm old.
Yeah.
And there's this vet, and I like to follow him because sometimes he gives like good advice and good like information. But then he'll do like a stupid dance with it, and it drives me fucking nuts. I'm like, dude, just tell me what I fucking want to hear. I don't need these stupid gimmicks. You're not as cute as you think you are. Your teeth are a little jacked up, so stop.
Dude, we're just old. That's all.
We're just not impressed by this. I think he's our age though. So I'm like, dude. Sorry, what, Tito?
I don't think it's just that we've like gotten old, though.
It's bad entertainment.
It's bad entertainment, but I remember I listened to like this Kanye West interview, and he talked about like how he's gotten super religious, and he goes to this pastor, and like what he wants from his pastor, like he doesn't need any glitz or showmanship. This pastor just like gives him the word straight. He gives it to him with no sauce. He's like, because I'm from the world of entertainment. I don't need to be entertained. Just give me the shit with no sauce on. Like we all do entertainment, you know. I don't need it all the time. Like you're
We
there
don't
to
want
get
other people
tip-
to entertain us more than we entertain ourselves.
Yeah, like I got that covered. You know, I got these three people in my life. I don't need some veterinarian doing a fucking dance while I'm trying to learn how to like pull a tampon out of a dog's gut.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When you're describing heartworms, I don't need you to like also take off your shirt. Those aren't two things that go together well.
Does he take off his
What
shirt?
vet are you watching? Like, I know, I just feel like, who are you watching?
I don't even
There's
know
like
how
some
I
pretty
found
cool,
him.
reputable people, and this guy, like, he just is getting worse and worse.
Well, sometimes he just does like Q&As, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm glad I follow this guy. And then other times I'm like, this fucker just like be a normal human being for a second.
Yeah, we're just trying to appease to tweens, right? Is that all it is?
This
And our
is
teens
Really,
like
it's like the
epitome-
algorithm. You're trying to beat the algorithm.
Yeah, yeah.
this is what our generation is going to complain about as we get older. Just like YouTube used to mean something.
Right.
I know.
Gross.
Grandma and grandpas, you guys can either get on the train like my smooth jazz, like smooth jazz. I don't know where I'm going with that. You can either get on the train, you can get left behind like a bunch of old fools.
Get on the coal train.
Ah, God, thank you, Megan.
That fedora is like squeezing your head a little bit.
I think Fish's friend said it like perfectly. It was something like, yeah, I just on Instagram or TikTok, he's like, I just watch hot girls dance poorly. He's like, that's the extent of my passing time. And it
When
reminds me,
you Yeah, when you first get on, that is like how they like try to entice you or whatever, because they just give you, it feels like what they think you want. And then the more you watch it, the more you get of that. But then sometimes you'll find other things because you'll find like vets. Or I follow this guy who talks about roadblocks. He's pretty cool. Um, he's doing like a live chat the other night and he like fell asleep. It was pretty funny. So
wait, what does he talk about?
Roadblocks.
Wait,
Mr. Roadblock. He just talks about like he went up to this one. He's like, "Oh, you guys think this is real?" And he kicked it over. He's like, "It's inflatable. It's actually filled with water to prevent you from damaging it."
Oh,
Like and share for more.
literal, like obstructions in the road,
Mm-hmm.
and he tells you what they're made of. I was like,
Yes.
thinking that
There's like no.
what
That's
causes
his
these
gimmick.
and how they're made.
Yeah,
He goes and investigates.
I think he's also like a lawyer, so he like does laws on top of that or whatever. But like road laws. But yeah, like there's seriously like a thing for everyone.
That makes
I'm
sense.
sure there's vets who keep their shirts on. I'm sure there's vets who
I
can
understand
dance.
why you're, quote unquote advocating for it, because I'd say the same thing to my brother. He's like, it seems like Facebook is just like what the fuck? Why would you want to be on it? I was like, honestly, you know what my Facebook looks like? It's like 50, the top 50 things are like Hollywood headlines, like new movies, and then like video games and tech. Like that's pretty much my whole feed. And then towards the bottom, you start to get more of the bullshit or like the people that you know or the people you follow or just like whatever. But I was like, my algorithm's such that it's mostly a news outlet for things that are mundane.
For misinformation. Misinformation, man. YouTube is not, or Facebook is not a news site.
Sometimes they have links to
It just compiles it all together. Again, the algorithm is just basing on all that. So if you're following everything that you like, I don't know. This is why I have kind of been altering my media to just be my own thing. And it's just like I'm putting it to just showcase what I have. Because yeah, I think it's very damaging in a lot of these ways. Because yeah, people think it's like a great news source, and then you can find so many different articles that are written by who knows what, and they have the sources there, and then people are commenting, so it looks more legit than it is. I mean, there was like something going around on Facebook where, or on Instagram, where people were posting, and it's like the CDC was actually invented by this guy, and then if you look at the bottom, it says actually this was just made up. See how easy it is to phrase misinformation and categorize it as like a true meme or something. So I don't know, that's what I've been doing, is just putting out my stuff and just like totally ignoring that stuff, because it's I don't like to get involved with that. Like that's where it starts getting
I agree
tricky.
with Phil. You can't find the truth. The truth is not on the internet. The truth is in the ground with these potatoes and these cherries.
Right. The truth is in the soil. It's in the dirt.
Have you guys?
I'm gonna give you some of my radishes, my truth radishes.
No thanks.
You all know Nathan Fielder, yeah?
Yes.
He's a comedian. He's a Canadian comedian, and he has a show called Nathan for You on Comedy Central. And he's got to be one of the funniest people around right now. And he backed this guy. He's producing this show. He backed this guy called John Wilson, and John Wilson has this show called How To with John Wilson on HBO. And it's kind of you talking about this dude who's talking about street obstructions, roadblocks. Sorry.
Thank you.
John Wilson is basically doing that. He's going around New York and just filming things, and then he's letting it take him to where it takes him. Like, what does this lead to? So, like, for instance, he started filming things around New York, and like he's always coming up with metaphors and having the imagery or video to back it up in like a funny way. He's very comedically minded. Anyways, so he's walking down New York, and there he comes to a corner, and there's this pop-up thing, like an RV, and it's like, stop, what's the fucking word when they cut your foreskin?
Circumcision.
Circumcision.
Stop circumcision. It's like these people that are like advocating for people to stop circumcising. And it has like this little doll, and it's showing you what the circumcision process looks like. They have like a model and all of this literature. And so John Wilson's like, all right, I'm going to go down this road. So he asked them like, who runs this organization or whatever. So then he goes to this guy's house, the organizer's house. He goes to this guy's like basement, and this guy's like built all these contraptions to help get your foreskin back. And
Yeah, I've seen this guy. I've heard of that guy before. He was on.
I was like,
he's
I
like making
contacted this
circuits.
guy to get my foreskin back.
Hey, you mean Jake? I like Jake.
the
Skin.
the peak of this episode is this guy showing you two contraptions that he's made. It's HBO, so they'll show dick. And this guy has his dick out, and he has this like these clamps that clamp onto the edges of the sides of his dick, and it has a weight on the end of it. And he's like walking around with it. He made this giant customizable sock that goes down the inside of his pant leg. So like this weight can hold down his skin as it's pulling on it all day. And then he also made this other contraption where you lay in bed and you have this pulley system that's pulling on your dick, and it's connected to the string that goes all the way to the headboard. And it's just pulling on it like a pulley. There's a weight on the other end.
This is like how Wallace and Gromit jerked himself off.
Dude, it is crazy. And you're just like, and then John Wilson will just say, so this guy's in this contraption, and John Wilson's like, so you seen any good movies lately? And the guy has this contraption on, completely naked, being filmed, and he's like, yeah, let's see. I watched the last Marvel movie. That was really good. Just normal conversation while this fucking thing's on his dick. And it's so much more wild if I showed it to you, but I don't want to show it to you now. I'll show it to you at the end of this thing, so I don't have to edit it out. But anyways.
Yeah, I mean, so you can pretty much find your group of people you want to talk to anywhere. They just happen to be on the street. But imagine if they had TikTok, all the people who would be informed of their cause. Which again, that's just kind of fascinating. You said he was just walking down the streets of LA or of New York and found that?
Yeah, he just
that doesn't surprise me though.
He's just finding ways to he's just trying to find a story as he's going. So it's a really odd show, and it's fucking hysterical and in a really subtle way. Yeah, if you're a fan of Nathan Fielder, that's the kind of comedy.
Nice.
What are you pointing at, Tito?
When he said subtle, I was like, ooh, that's the differentiator. Is like there's not a lot of subtlety in TikTok, in most TikTok. And that's one of the things, like, you want more subtlety in your life, Dylan, because you're like a real man, kind of.
I'm a real man. What does that mean?
Like you can appreciate subtlety in things. You know?
Maybe that's I think you nailed it. Like there is no nuance or subtlety in a lot of those in a 10-second video, because you can't.
Yeah, but you you can have like a pure joy, and that's relatable. Just like in an improv scene when everybody's just catching butterflies, and that's it. There doesn't need to be tension, and that's really joyous.
Yeah.
Well,
there's another TikToker that I like, and his name's, I'm not sure how to say it. It's Khady, so Kabi. He's Italian. And you know how they have like TikTok hacks or life hacks, and I think we've run out of life hacks. So people come up with like dumb shit. And he kind of shows like the simple way to actually do it. Like there was someone that made it to cut the top off of a can, and he just like opens the can to drink from it. Like
yeah, he's
and
everywhere.
then he does this at the end.
That guy's everywhere. Yeah, he's
awesome. I don't like this guy.
Why not?
Because all he is doing is explaining the joke. He reminds me of like a friend I had when I was younger, and she was just like, that's the joke, and she just like ruin any comedic thing. what he's doing is, if you look at the original TikToks, they're clearly jokes. Like there's a woman, like her mask is caught in the cup handle of her mug, and she's like, "How do I get the mask out?" And so she smashes the mug. It's clearly a joke, and then he's like, "This is dumb. You just remove the mask." Like it makes me very upset.
Need some more examples of this dude because I want to know if I like him or not.
I mean, I'm
I
a
feel
little
like, yeah,
annoyed at
just look
people that
him
put up
up.
those
He's
videos
been
in the
like
first
a-
place. Like, I think I don't find humor in the initial videos. I'm like, we're just getting real dumb here. So I like
Sure.
that he's explaining,
It's meta comedy.
stop being stupid, people.
Yeah, like I think that he does it well. He has good like facial expressions. I think he does it well, but like on some level, like I just am annoyed by it. Kind of how I cannot enjoy white chocolate because it is the absence of chocolate. It's not chocolate.
Wait, what's this guy's name?
Okay? There's like white chocolate, 0% cacao.
Wait, what is it again, Megan?
KHABY.
Okay.
Ugh, of course. Oh, one of my friends is just on TikTok, and they already have more likes than me, or
Wow.
more views than mine.
You're still in the
Damn
grind.
this algorithm.
Well, I definitely found the wrong guy. No, I have no clue.
I was trying to find it, but I gave up.
Is it like a younger black guy?
Yes.
Yeah.
What is he doing with this toothbrush? He's connecting a toothbrush to a syringe, and then
Yeah.
What? I haven't seen this.
he pushed toothpaste out
Can you
through.
put it on the screen? I've
Yeah.
seen this one.
Yeah, man.
Oh, you want me to put it on the screen?
Yeah.
If you can.
Okay. I guess I could do that.
It's like he didn't run an internet show for 2 years. It's like he didn't ruin a relationship over it.
Nice.
That's part of the reason I can't watch TikTok. It's fucking music. It's fucking obnoxious.
And it's the same 3 songs. The
Oh.
Lord.
Mhm. Oh, what you know about rolling down in the deep?
Oh, wait, you didn't get to the
brain
end,
goes
though.
numb and you call them into freeze.
How do I turn off the noise?
No,
It's only like 15 seconds, I think.
I don't think you got to the end of that first one, though.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, I get it.
All right. Some of these, yeah.
I see.
Yeah, because people will do stuff like that, like it's a life hack, and
It's like instead of,
Okay, I can
instead
see.
of going through all that trouble, just do that. So
yeah.
Okay, I could.
Are you
I
really
could
making your life simpler by doing all this stupid shit?
yeah, there was actually one of those hacks that did work. Apparently, we're putting in trash bags, like when you put it and you fluff it out and then you align it like that. Apparently, that's wrong. It's the seam is on the outside, so you just kind of put it on like a little sock and you push it inwards. And I tried it the other day. Totally worked.
What? Say that again.
Trash bags.
We're not supposed to fluff it out?
Mm-mm. You just kind of put it on the top of it. That is because the seam is on the outside. So you just put it on top of it and then you push down.
So
Put it down.
So when you push down, the seam becomes on the inside.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
see. I see.
They designed it, I guess, like that. So that way you don't have to do the thing where you fluff it out and then you try and align it and
Okay.
do the weird twist. It's already done. So you just put it on top of it and like push down.
Yeah,
That was one that I was like, holy shit.
I found one the other day too
Damn
with,
you, TikTok.
with the toilet seat covers, where like I realized I was putting it on backwards the whole time.
I
Like,
didn't realize there's,
you know, the part in the middle that's flappy that you would kind of like undo.
yeah, that goes in the bowl.
Yeah, but I was doing it backwards. Like I was like I put it on the back side and then it flaps down from the back, but it's actually supposed to be from the front. I saw that on some video.
Why is it supposed to be from the front?
Nobody knew. Because the shape of the bowl is such that this weird shape like this more sense the other way around. And then when you undo that flap, it it hits the front of the bowl and you would just like pee on that or whatever, as opposed to the back of the bowl where you're worried about like your shit getting caught on it or something.
Well, yeah, I realized that when you use that, you were not necessarily peeing into that bowl. You were
Not
taking
necessarily
number
what?
2.
Yeah. I always thought the function of the flap was like it drags the rest of it in the flush. Like that's the purpose of like the flap. That's touching the water. So when you flush, all of it goes in.
Oh, see, I didn't think about that.
That's
It's
what I
supposed to
thought.
drag it.
It's because I'm the scientist of the two of us.
What are you guys supposed to drag it?
Like when you flush it, it's going to pull the rest of it.
Oh, you were just clarifying what Tito was saying.
Yeah, right.
Oh, okay. I thought you said, oh, it's for flushing. I thought I was just meant to drag. I was like, drag where? I thought it was just an aim for my pee stream.
Dress and drag. You're supposed to use it.
Guys, I fucked up.
What?
I went on a date and
And it was horrible or good?
it went really well.
And now you're in love. Damn it.
And it sucks because I was like, I'm coming out of my shell. I want to go on some dates, want to have some experiences. And like the first person I go on a date with, I actually like. And it's a pile of bullshit.
Wait, is this Marty's ex?
Yes. Yes, it is. And we also talked about that.
Poetry?
Serves you right.
What was that, Dylan?
Did she read you some dope poetry?
No, but I actually researched. I looked her up and I watched some dope poetry. I was like, this person's legit.
Yeah, she said that she's like ranked like crazy high in the US or something.
Yeah, in 2017, she won a competition that put her like ranked as like the 10th female poet in the world, or maybe just the 10th poet in the world. I don't know,
Crazy.
but like something very impressive.
Yeah. So I gotta know about what it was like dating Marty.
X.
Well, you guys all remember that time when we were at Bar Uno and we're just like hanging out, having a good time, and then suddenly everybody looks at their phone at the same time.
Stay away from Tito.
Yeah, do you remember that moment?
I do, because it was hilarious.
Yeah, you there, Phil?
I don't think so. Maybe. I don't know.
Marty, who the fuck are you to protect me from anyone?
Oh.
So was that? I don't know. Is that what happened?
Wait, is that why she's dating you? Because she's like, well, Marty said not to, so it's probably
Because you're his arch nemesis for some reason.
She had no idea I was a comic until the date, and then she told me later. She was just like, "Oh no."
yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, Albuquerque has 10 people that are single.
Yeah, no. Marty and I understand the idea of not talking ill of somebody when they're not here. But
So we're
fuck
not
Marty.
gonna do that today.
Yeah, I don't care.
But this is not one of those times.
This is like one of the people that he has tried to screw me over in so many ways after I tried to be his friend, and after so many times.
Regularly, you have gone out of your way to reach out, and I don't know why you kept doing it, because it was
Yeah, same here.
so destructive.
I found him funny. And
That is there's so many funny people. Why?
Just look at TikTok. There's this really funny guy called Please Hold. He just does this old thing at work.
Well, TikTok
He
was
doesn't do-
when Tito was friends with Marty, so
well, I wouldn't go out of my way to hang out with him, but if he was like nearby, I'd be like, hey man, what's up? We wouldn't like
There were
go
no
out
other
and-
choices around. Sure.
Yeah. We wouldn't go out and get lunch together, but my family was a little chaotic, and I was like the peacemaker, and so on some level, I feel comfortable with somebody being a little chaotic, and I'm like, I'm gonna help you calm down. And has that like attitude gotten me in trouble? Absolutely. I've been working on it.
I like this.
You know, but yeah, apparently he is like a incredibly toxic, like mentally abusive, like terrible piece of shit. And
Surprise.
and I totally believe everything that she told me, because she detailed some stuff, and like that made me legitimately very angry. And
So-
I believe her because the action of her story, the rise and fall, the shape, almost perfectly lines up with my experience with Marty. It's like, yeah, this makes total sense. He's one of the worst people I've ever known.
So do
Marty
you
Adams.
like her because you like her, or because you know that
The bar's really low.
Likes you more than Marty?
So because they went through the same traumatic experience, that's why.
Yeah,
We have a connection now. Yeah, you
we
guys.
have a slight like trauma bonding moment.
Yeah,
You know?
That's a good start.
They both dated
Yeah.
Marty essentially.
You both were harassed by him because yeah, it was a weird thing where it's like, why are you still reaching out to him when he's clearly just trying to like yell at you, or like he's just smacking your hand, or you know what I mean? He's like,
Because I'm a sucker. I'm a bit of a sucker. I'm a bit of like, I'm a Hufflepuff, man. I've hid that, tried to hide that from y'all. My bluster.
this is Slytherin. We only like smooth jazz and hardcore death metal. No in between.
That's so evil.
Mhm.
Evil in the world.
Torture you with our positive vibes and niceties with the
Yeah,
smooth sax solo. Sorry.
I'm just an emotional sucker. Like somebody will say something, I'll be like, I get it. I understand.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
I'm here for you.
You're
You know? I can't get involved in politics. I can't get involved in like what's going on with like Israel and Palestine. Like it's a fucking nightmare shit show. And if I watch an article that's like pro Palestine, I'm like, man, yeah, I get it. And then I watch it or read an article that's pro Israel, I'll be like,
Mhm.
this sucks. No, like I can't help
Are
it.
you an empath?
I'm an
Is that what an
empath.
empath?
I'm an empath, and I know people have like used that term, and I get annoyed at them because I'm like, "Fuck you."
You feel
don't
that.
get it. Yeah, no, I know that I am an empath, and people that say that like freely, I'm so empathetic. Like I get annoyed by it because they're just.
In order to be the truest empath is moderate. That is what makes Tito the truest of empaths, because we will always be in the center.
Yeah, I can't help it.
You will be okay with both sides of any argument.
Yeah,
Whereas most people that are empaths are probably people that recognize themselves as like super left or something.
or whatever. Like not even like bring like some political side into it, but we've all met people who are like, I'm very empathetic,
Right.
and that's ugh.
But they're not empathetic towards shitty people. Tito is.
Yeah, I'm empathetic towards everybody. I'm like, you don't understand what like being a real empath is. It's
Yeah.
exhausting. Yeah.
It's like, no, I legitimately am empathetic towards everyone. Yeah.
Right.
I can't help it. You know, I'm still friends with Jess Watts. I talked to her like a month ago for like half an hour.
But part of being an empath means people bring you down.
Yeah,
And for your own safety, you got to cut that shit out.
yeah, and that's
I'm a real empath, and fuck you for not sensing that. That was my empath test. You
You
failed.
didn't sense
You
it.
can't empathize with me for being an empath. So
God,
You just failed.
that's what I'm
Empathy
like
test.
working on. You know, it's just recognizing that I am a bit of a sucker, and it is like it has gotten me in trouble. It has caused me problems, and it has strained friendships. And it's also been like there's also been like some good aspects of it. You know, like I feel like I'm pretty round. But the point is also I tried to follow Dylan's advice. You know, like, hey, keep a spreadsheet. You know, schedule multiple dates. Don't kiss on the first date. I did none of that. It failed. Failed completely.
Oh, you did all
on
of
the
that.
first date.
So I did none of that. I
Yeah.
did not make a spreadsheet. I did not go on multiple dates. I did not kiss on the first date. Like I tried, and then like a moment just like appear out of nowhere, and it happened.
Wow.
But I actually like this
Go
person.
with the flow.
I
Just
know.
go with the flow. When things
Right.
happen like that too. Yeah, just sometimes exactly. When you feel it, and just go with it.
I want to agree with Phil, but I also want to say, don't stop dating.
Because I'm an empath. And I'm just gonna... That's what I'm afraid of. But like it feels legitimate. Like here's the thing. I'm a specific speed. We're all specific speeds. You all know what I'm talking about. We all have a very
Speed of
specific.
my-
Exhausting. We're all
You're low gear.
'Cause I'm an empath. The one and only.
The only one in this group, God damn
The
it.
only one.
You can't be an empath, Megan. You are not okay with Nazis.
Wait, what?
Saying that I'm okay with Nazis. That's me.
I don't devote all my energy to negative people. I can't be an empath.
Yeah, exactly. Or half of your energy.
Tito, do you feel like drained? Like I can't go to festivals because I feel very drained at festivals.
I don't often go to festivals. I don't often go to live music.
Oh, that reminds me. I want to go to Riot Fest. Is anyone going to go?
What is that?
Chicago.
Is that Phoebe? Is that in September?
Yes.
Gigi is going to that.
Oh,
She told me that
cool.
she's gonna be-
Girl? Are we gonna
Yeah.
hear a lot about her now? Gigi likes water. Gigi breathes air. Gigi was born vaginally. I don't know.
Show
just
off.
because
That
you're
burst.
angry at me for like having potentially somebody in my life, you need to take it out on me.
I'm so angry that you're not alone.
It's like the reverse empath.
Dope. I'm in.
Have you gone on another date with her? Or how many
Yes.
dates have you gone on now?
3.
Because it was a while ago that you had messaged us, right? That you were jumping out there.
Yeah,
It's like 3 dates ago, I think.
it was about 3 days ago. Was it? Yeah, it's
Tell her about your love of Gigi Allen.
I
You
told her
love
about
Gigi Allen?
Gigi Allen. I don't know how he got shot in the head on stage. Wait, that was Dimebag. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's I'm annoyed. I feel like I'm just gonna ultimately end up going with the flow because like she's a performer as well, and actually she's like a good one. So like I don't need to explain myself and be like, can you get on board that I'm just trying to be funny all the time? And you're not gonna be like, this is weird. Like what? Okay.
Like, can you get on board that I'm trying to rhyme all the time?
Yeah, I can. Boo. I hate you.
Rhyming is the name of my game, and you better not be lame.
Wow, Megan.
Because I'm a poet and I know it. Could you date her if she talked like that?
I would push her over.
Good bad poetry.
Yeah.
You're telling me that was bad poetry? It rhymed. What else do you need?
My guess is rhyming isn't the number one thing in poetry.
That's not what I learned in middle school. So
The fun thing is that she dated Marty, who's like super hardcore leftist, and she is along those lines, and I'm just like, my comedy is a nightmare.
Yeah.
And I have not censored myself. I was like, nope, I'm just going to be my comedy, and you can get on board with it or not. And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun making her like shocked all the time.
Oh my god! I wish I fucking film it, please. I need to.
Oh yeah. Oh no, I told her
Put
like
it on TikTok.
I wrote for you.
That's how you could start, by just shocking your new lefty friend with all your humor. It's interesting too, because some people, like, again, it like caters to certain sides. So some people will react to like something like the right said, but on the left. But I never saw the right one. You know what I mean? So you could bring a good conversation.
Channel called like Tito versus the feminist poet. Like
she's going to
it should be phrased as a battle, so people know.
This is what it would look like. She's going to give like an incredibly like passionate poem about feminism and the difficulties of, like, being a woman in the culture today, and then I'm going to get on. I'm going to be like, what do you call a Nazi hoe?
What?
A swastitute.
A what? Clostitute?
A swastitute.
Dude, I'll always choose you, Tito. I'm on your side. Mostly because I still think it's hysterical that I matched with this girl first. We talked for a little bit on an app, and then I saw that she dated Marty, and now you are talking to her. So It's hysterical to me. I love it.
Mhm.
Was Marty a deal breaker for you,
Cordell?
Dylan? Did you ever meet her, or was it like,
No,
oh,
I
she's
never met her. I
already
never.
out?
Marty was a deal breaker then, yeah.
Well, I remember when I saw it, I was like, holy shit! Like, okay, I was like, anybody that is willing to date that guy, I'm really dodged a bullet. It was I matched with her like the same day I matched with Fish.
Wow.
So I just got a different bullet, is how I'll put it.
You're such a dick.
I know.
So much fun with it.
Yeah, it's much more fun. I had a similar. I haven't been on a date, but I have been like regularly thinking. I mentioned this last time that like I don't know anybody out here. I've been stuck in COVID, and so I don't have friends. So it's really odd. So this doesn't mean as much to you guys as it means to me. Not because I'm trying to put out content, because I don't talk to anybody. So, and I'm trying to put out content. So
I mean, they don't have to go hand in hand. You
know,
can
I
just talk to us.
you wouldn't show up if you knew you weren't being filmed.
I'm pretty sure I would.
Just kidding. But last couple weekends, like last weekend, I think the teachers had like a get together. So I was like, okay, I'll go to this thing. I don't know what high school teachers are like. They were fucking cool. They were super funny. And I think we started at a bar, and then we made our way over to a gay club, and I met there was like some gay dude that like kept talking to me like all night, and I was like, it was just turned into a weird night, but it was a lot of fun. And I woke up in an alley. So that was my first night of like
Being gay.
it was my first night of being gay. My second night of being gay. No, like my second like actually seeing and hanging out with people outside of like just Fish was today. It's really odd though how it happened, because Fish, when we first got here, she went on to Bumble, and you know how they have like Bumble Friends, which is like another part of the app. She Bumble friended this girl, and they've hung out a few times, and I've hung out with them once or twice, just like, oh, you're gonna go get lunch? Like, hey, Dylan, you want to come get lunch with us? I'm like, okay, cool. And like, she seemed cool, but I hung out with her and her partner today, just me, and Fish was not there.
That's exciting.
So it was kind of exciting, but it was also, what's up?
You're stealing your girlfriend's friends? That's not
Yeah,
cool.
My plan, my big picture plan, don't tell Fish, is to turn them against her. So it's just me and only me. That's the narcissism.
You're real isolated.
Yeah, I want to make sure that like
The little self-loathing.
just mine. No, but it was super cool. Like they're really cool. They're from Florida. I was telling Tito, I hung out with some Floridians, and they don't fit into Florida the way I think about Florida. They like, one of them has blue hair, bright blue hair. They both go by they, just very
Where in Florida?
I want to say northern.
Gainesville?
Florida
Not
doesn't have a north.
Not Gainesville.
Tampa?
No.
St. Pete? Okay, whatever.
Maybe they think they may have been close to St. Peter's.
Yeah, because St. Pete is like the liberal bastion in Florida.
Okay. It would have been near a college, because they both met in college.
Maybe.
So yeah, they're pretty cool. They play games, and they skateboard, and they just do cool shit, and they seem pretty cool. But it was kind of odd though. I feel like hanging out with kind of Fish's friend, but she's only hung out with him a couple times. But anyways, the girl, like, I think Fish at some point got crazy busy, and this girl was like looking for someone to hang out, and she was like, hey, I like 2 jobs right now. I'm super busy, but like, I'm sure Dylan be down to hang out. Text Dylan. And so the girl texts me, and she's like, hey, Fish said that she's super busy. What's up? And I was like, okay, I guess we'll hang out. So I hung out.
That's kind of friendly. So was it a good hang?
Yeah, it was nice. We went and got some sandwiches. We hung out at a park. We hung out at their apartment. They It was cool. It's like a little bit. I think. I think that my extra. I'm sure Tito like feels this a lot, but I feel like my extra version. Actually, all of you have talked about this, like being on dates where you feel like you're carrying some weight that is very lopsided. So I feel like there was a little bit of that, but it wasn't like bad. But there were points where I'm just like, okay, like I've had to learn how to shut up to be like to leave extra space so they're comfortable jumping in, because it like Fish is like this too. Like she can't like for the few times that Fish has hung out with all of us, Fish is like, I can't get in there. I'm not as quick. Like I don't have the fucking wherewithal. She's also like, I don't know when it's okay to jump in. I was like, it's really a fucking free for all. Just you gotta.
Yeah, it's literally any time.
Yeah. But I think this is I think our dynamic, and probably a lot of people in our world, that it can be intimidating, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We're all great. I hear you. We're all really fun to be around.
Well, and then I felt
Nothing but nonstop bits. That's what I like. Just
Yeah.
the bits.
And then I just felt like I'm high roading the world. I don't know, like what the hell? That's the narcissism.
Yeah, I wrote in the world. Well, I'm sorry, guys. I have bad news, but I think Riot Fest is sold out on Friday's tickets, which is what I wanted. Damn it.
Who are you trying to see?
They had for Friday. I wanted to go see NoFX. They had Coheed and Cambria.
Ooh.
Dinosaur Jr. is pretty cool. Circus Survive. I wanted to go see Circus Survive. And that's about it, I think, on that one for real. I mean, I could see the Smashing Pumpkins. I've never seen them, so why not?
I think Friday, I just found a link. I think I see some tickets for 150. Wait, hold on.
Oh, you didn't? Because I haven't seen it. Mine keeps saying sold out, but yeah.
Every band you named, I've seen them.
You've seen them?
I haven't seen Dinosaur Jr. though.
But that was by choice.
Yeah.
Aha!
Actually,
concert.
the last concerts I was at a Coheed and Cambria concert. I hate that band.
Yeah.
But the girl,
they're not my favorite either. I want to see them because people love them so much, and I don't know. I just hear they're good to watch. So,
they do, like their fucking following is crazy. And
yeah,
the concept
they have a crazy following.
Cool, because like all of the songs have to do with like a story that he's been writing since he was a kid, and he has a company in comic books that go with all of the albums. Like, wow, crazy. Anyways,
that's his voice, right?
I can't stand his voice.
That's his voice. That was your voice. Can you talk?
No,
he does like that. I'll send you a shit.
I only know him from Rock Band, and I can't even remember the Rock Band song that was on. I think I liked it, but I can't really remember it.
I just know that I heard Welcome Home, that was good, and I know that they are Rush was a big influence on them, and that's all. I saw him like see right up on board with them.
I was at one of the last concerts I was at was Coheed and Cambria. Like I said, I don't like them, but a friend bought the tickets. A friend was just somebody that I kind of liked. And she bought so she's like, yeah, I want to go. Like, I'll buy the tickets. I was like, okay. I'm at the concert, and after standing up for like 4 hours or whatever, like waiting in line plus like actually just being at the concert, my back gave out. You all know I have a bad back, and after a certain
amount, know that.
I have a really bad back, and after a certain amount of time, my spine will be like, you're done, and then just like collapse.
Is like, are you gonna blame this on Jessica too?
Yeah, I mean, my back would have been okay if I didn't date her.
I didn't date.
No, it was actually a Color Circuit thing very early on. Color Circuit, like I picked up one of the like a big heavy table, and I twisted and I turned, and then I literally I felt the snap, and my back's never been the same.
Wow.
Oh geez, yeah.
Anyways, my back gives out at this concert, and I just like I'm in a crowd, and I just fall to the ground, And
Oh, Dylan, look at him. He's always for a laugh. That Dylan.
no, that's what it was. The girl that I
Is that
was
what they?
the girl that I was talking to, she didn't think I was joking, but she thought that I was being how did she word it? Like over dramatic.
Facetious?
No, that I was looking for attention. I was being over dramatic. And I was like, why would I do that then? There's so many
Yeah.
places to do that. Why would I do it when nobody's looking at me and everybody's looking up at the stage? Like, that's so stupid. I was so fucking pissed. I still think about how
You're yelling at her from the ground.
Look at here. You know, I have problems too.
yeah, I'm in a puddle. Like my body's turned into like mud.
Berating her.
I never liked you anyways.
Yeah.
But I was livid because like the last time I felt that was when I was like in high school and my brother and my sister-in-law like wake me up at 8 a.m. and they're like, get up, you're getting a drug test. And I was like, what the fuck? They're like, you're getting a drug test now. And they like basically threw me into the car. My brother, 10 years older, and his girlfriend at the time, who's now his wife.
Your brother? Oh,
And they're like,
10 years older. He wasn't 10 years old.
no, he's 10 years older.
Get in the car.
My girlfriend and I are going to drive you. And you're on drugs. I just learned about it there.
Driving, and I was like, what's going on? I'm like, oh, what the hell? Oh, that's funny. You just texted me right now. But I was the whole fucking ride. I was fucking pissed. I was like, no, I don't do drugs. I don't need a drug test. What the hell? I was like so mad. And we keep driving and driving. I was like, where the hell are we going? But I was like infuriated and I was young and I just didn't think about it. We just kept driving into the woods. I was like, all right, what's happening? And then we get to like a parking spot and then all of my friends are there. And it was like a surprise birthday party camping trip. It was really nice.
Such big expectations for your birthdays now?
Yeah. And then they still made me pee in their mouths. So
Not a drug test work.
That was the best. Yeah, that was
Is it that they made
your
you
present.
or that they let you?
you know what? We still don't know.
Hey guys, I gotta go because one of the benefits is dinner happens to be made for me. Living with family for a while, so but this is fun. I'll talk to you guys later. I'll text you guys soon so we can hang out and all that when I'm back in Albuquerque.
Yeah, let us know when you're back in ABC, man.
Yeah, sure. Bye, guys.
Bye, Phil.
I blew him a kiss. He didn't even acknowledge.
You did it kind of like this, though.
Stop being so dramatic.
I really like this part. That's so good. That's so good. Did I tell you?
Yes.
I was just thinking about all the fucking dumb shit I do to get a laugh out of Fish. But the other day, did I tell you guys about gay butt? I told you about gay butt, right?
Gay butt?
I was in bed and I was holding Fish's butt and I was like, big butt. And then I took my hand off to go to bed, but I was like, I just followed up like gay butt because she's bi, and so I call her gay all the time just to make fun of her.
Yeah.
I took my hand off of her butt, and this is under the sheets, and I went gay butt, and then she went, "Are you holding your butt?" So she thought I went big butt, and then grabbed my own butt and went gay butt.
I get it. I'm with Fish. I would have thought the same.
Fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish. It was big butt, gay butt, small butt, hetero butt.
Front butt.
Front butt.
You're gay butt. I wrote a line that I think I can't remember if I ever said on stage, but it was just like, what is it? Oh, I don't know. I ain't into pegging, but my butt is. I don't know. Like I don't know, something along those lines. Like I ain't into that gay shit, but my butt is.
I like it.
Something stupid. Something stupid.
It's disconnected from you.
Yeah.
I was trying to look at my I feel like my life has been captured in these notes that I have, which is basically just anything funny that happens, I put it in my stand-up list because I'm like, that'll be a joke one day. What were you gonna say though, Tito?
I had nothing, so I was just gonna go, Megan, you want to hear something about Gigi? And that was it. That was the whole bit.
I want to hear.
That was it. That was the whole bit. I don't have anything.
Damn it.
That's not true. I actually do, but like, that was the bit.
Talk about it.
No.
Talk about Gigi. Wait, were you expecting to be like, stop talking about her? I'm so done with you talking about her.
Guys, she's so weird.
Tito, you're in a relationship and I'm all alone. I don't want to hear about it.
Yes.
So
This
jealous.
This is the response I wanted.
Okay, that's what I thought you might. I don't think you understand that I kind of don't give a fuck.
Oh, no. I don't think you understand that I understand.
I mean, if you want to share about your relationship, I'll hear all the tidbits. But
Since you asked so nicely. Titbits. They're called titbits.
No, I'm only saying this because I thought of like some bits I want to talk about or whatever. But the idea of like the first date I go on and it's with something that I actually enjoy. I'm like, this is a fucking load of horse shit. This is so annoying. And she talked to me about like polyamory. She's like, I'm not into that. And it's like, no, I get it. Like the way my friend Scott, y'all know Scott, right? He's like the brother of Darren Brown.
Heard of him.
Yeah. The way Scott put it once, he was like on stage. I think we were doing some improv show with the box, maybe it was rehearsal. But Scott said, polyamory, who has the time?
Yeah, I've heard that.
This is the best way of putting it. But I remember like being in an open relationship at times with Elena. And it's tough being in an open relationship because it's really easy for the female and very tough for the male. Because like guys don't care. She could be like, I'm in a relationship. I just want to like fuck and like fucking awesome. But I can't do that, you know? Yeah. I can't like lie to somebody and be like, oh no, there's nothing going on. Like I have to let them know up front because I try to be a decent human being.
Yeah.
It's always just like a deal breaker. So like nothing ever happens for me. And then there was a moment it was really frustrating. I was in Florida. I was talking to this older Chinese woman that I was been friends with since I was a kid. And I was just like frustrated. And she was like,
what's going on? Chinese woman?
Yeah, I learned origami from her.
You what?
I learned origami from her. And I got the COVID like when I was young, so like I have good antibodies.
Was she your origami coach? What the hell?
Isn't that a Japanese thing?
Yes.
She's from Taiwan. She's from Taiwan.
We had this discussion last week.
Yeah. But I remember talking to her about this.
You were there?
I'm just frustrated.
Go ahead, Tina. Go ahead.
No, it's fine, Megan. You had 3 hours to talk, but I guess you could talk a little bit more.
Just a very interesting person with lots to say. I'm sorry that you can't come up with 3 hours worth of talk.
I just want to know why Tito's friends with an old Chinese lady. I'm so intrigued.
Because she lived on the street and she had a cool dog, and she's like an open empath. She just connects with everybody.
Nice.
But I remember talking to her. I was just like frustrated because I'm like trying to find like somebody to have sex with or something, and she's like, "Oh, you're like, listen, you just be yourself. Like you'll find a girlfriend." And I was just like, "I already have a girlfriend. I'm trying to find a second girlfriend." And like her face, she was just like, "What? Like fuck this generation." It's really hard. Find a second girlfriend.
And then I'm worried I won't even find a third girlfriend once I find the second girlfriend because she was so hard to find.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's such a good bit. I fucking love it. And it's all true. I know it's all true.
I've been doing that. I tried that on G. Like, that's how it came out, but she laughed really hard. And I was like, oh, there's something here.
Dude, it's really funny. I fucking love it. I'm trying to find a second one.
It's so hard. Stuck a dick in an alley. I don't know what she was.
Well, so when we talk about dating multiple people, Like I know Dylan, you say that's like how to keep it light and fun. But I feel like I already know who I like the most. And it's like dating's kind of exhausting sometimes. So why would you want to do, I don't know.
Well, you're an introvert and you're ready to settle. So
It's true.
other people are either extroverts or they could be interested, but they also like they want to play the field and like fill out who they like, or they don't have an end goal, and so like I don't know. I just that's why I find it. I mean, really, the reason I find it fun though is like I just like connecting with people, and
Yeah.
you know, if the added benefit is sex or all that stuff, like the even better, right? That's awesome. So
I'm with you.
fun, and that's what I'm saying. Like, have fun, Tito. Have fun, Megan. Go out there, talk to people, make the best of it.
But
Like,
the before the dating, like having to like text and message, like that's like I'd rather shoot myself in the head.
oh,
Like,
it's a full time job. But you'll find the people that are fun to do that with, or you'll find the people that are like, and a lot of people are not good at it over text. So like, and also you could be a slower texter, right? So you're trying to like, you can massage out your text. You don't need to respond right away. You can wait a little bit and like, I don't know. You're not beholden to anybody when you're dating too. That's the other fun thing.
Mhm.
I think finding that one person that like you would even just want to go out on a date with is hard enough. Like narrowing it down is
Yeah, that's weird. That's, I don't know. I just never felt that. I had a few bad dates, but mostly like it was a good time. Like,
Yeah.
like I have had multiple dates set up in like a week or something. But after the date, it was usually like there was an obvious front runner.
hmm.
I haven't ever dated two guys at once and been like, ooh, I don't know who to choose. They're just both so great. It's like
But
one's a
you
piece of
don't
crap.
need to choose is the problem. You're
But
choosing.
why would I keep hanging? Like there wasn't anyone else that I wanted to hang out with.
Oh, so the two
Like I
guys,
would go out on a first date and be like, we don't need a second date.
you said one of them was obviously the front runner, but was the other one also like cool?
No.
Okay. Well then yeah, you got to get rid of those. You got to get rid of those.
But like never had the opportunity when there's been like two possible second date people.
Wait, is it because you didn't set up those opportunities? Because I'm sure plenty of dudes were hitting you up or matching with you, and
It was just like we'd go on a first date and it was like, I don't want to waste my time with this guy anymore.
okay.
I mean, I feel like, are you arriving with that energy?
No, I usually go with like kind of excited. And then it's like, oh, you do not live up to expect. No, that's not even right. It's just
What is it? What's happening?
like there's no good conversation, or we don't connect on some stuff, or
It's okay to not connect on some stuff.
I mean, like you have like a pretty. I feel like you have like a pretty aggressive, like comedic style, Megan. Yeah.
that's the other thing is sometimes I like can't be funny with these guys. And that kind of, I feel like I have to kind of like dim myself because it's like, oh, this guy doesn't get it. Why would I want to keep hanging out with someone where I have to like pretend he's funny?
Yeah, but also like your comedic style, like to get into like a rhythm with you, like you're sharp and it's fun, and you appreciate like some conflict in your comedy. So that's a bold move for a dude to make. Be like, I'm gonna like be mean and aggressive, and maybe she'll find it hilarious, which you will, but they don't know that.
Guys have caught on to that, and I think those are the guys that usually make it to a second date when we can't just joke around and be stupid.
Yeah, I love those dates when they're just as sharp and they're just as there.
Mm-hmm.
Or I've been on dates where like, fuck, this person's funnier than me. Like that's awesome.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
I have a memory of Megan that I want to talk about on stage.
Oh no.
Because about it's just about like, look, I've been dark subject matter, joking about dark subject matter. Like I've joked about it all. We all have. But I try to be like a decent human being with it. I remember one time I was in a car with Troy and Sam, Alvarado and Kyle and Kat Savage. And we were joking, and it was like really funny. And then it started getting like a little aggressive. And I turned to Kat and I was like, hey Kat, like just checking, like, are you cool with this? Because this is getting like kind of like rapey and shit. And she was like taken aback, and she was like, yes, I am. Thank you for like checking. I was
Yeah.
like, cool, think you're a decent human being. And then, so that's like the one side. And the other side is one time after a show, after Bar Uno, it ended up being just like me and Charles and Megan. Megan remembers what I'm talking about.
No, I think I was there.
Maybe you were there, yeah. And we like walked back, and then we stood on like our street corner, and me and Charles and Megan joked about like gang rape for like literally half an hour.
I
And-
was there, Tito.
Yeah, and you were there as well. You were the first to leave, probably. That's why it's just the three of them. But I remember at one point, like I turned back, I was like this is fine, right? And Megan's response was, "Oh, don't be weird. Like, don't make this weird. You better be like a decent human." I'm like,
I don't remember. Did you say
I
that?
remember that night. I don't necessarily remember that response.
I remember it because it was hilarious.
I remember
like,
Megan put a picture of us,
yeah.
like on her Instagram or something.
Beanie Babies or something?
Something. Yeah.
Also, not being hyperbolic, like literally, we joked about like gang rape and rape for like over half an hour, like maybe an hour and a half. Like it went on, and it was hilarious.
I remember there was like modeling of the sex.
We were like, action, and like that's Megan's like level of commitment to like comedy. She's like, no, let's go aggressive. So guys walk into that, they don't know like how to be funny with Megan.
Yeah. Or Megan makes a self-loathing fat joke, and they're like,
No, you're gorgeous, and she's like, God, what a fag. Like, no, Megan, calm down.
I heard the fucking best show. So I've been going out to comedy shows because they just started opening back up. They're like outdoors. So I went to 2 in the last 2 weekends, and the first one I went to, I was like real nervous because the whole ticket was mostly women and mostly gay, like clearly an outwardly gay woman, and I was like nervous about it because not that I didn't think it was going to be funny, but I was thinking it wasn't going to be funny to me because I'm not gay or a woman, so I might not connect with it. Did I talk about this last time?
Yes.
Did. But
I wasn't here.
you weren't here. One of the jokes that she said was like, she's like this short, gay, brown, like Indian or Middle Eastern woman, and she said something along the lines of, she's like, I love being around straight white males. She's like, it's so fun. She's like, she's like, I'm around them and they're just like, like, I'm sorry, like you're a woman, I'm so sorry. And she's like, oh yeah, like in like my family's from Sri Lanka, and like, oh my God, and you're brown, like, oh, how do I make myself less of a burden on your life? She's like, oh yeah, I'm gay. Oh my God, just kill me. How do I not exist? She's like being around spineless white men is actually, it could be really exhausting. So she's like, I just hang out with like white supremacists now just to hang out with the white dude with the spine. Yeah.
Damn, that's a good joke. Oh my God.
Dropping
Did he just like mic drop himself, like leaving the frame?
Alexa was laughing, so God, dude, I started cracking up. I was like, that is a fucking good joke.
That's a fucking good joke. Just to hang out with a man with a spine.
But I get that. Like, I grew up with my dad and my brother that would tell like some of the worst jokes. And sometimes I'm like, okay, guys, come on.
Sure.
But most of the time, my line is pretty hard to push.
Yeah.
But it bugs me when like other people feel like they have to censor themselves around me because it's like, oh, you're dainty, you're a lady. I can't tell gang rape jokes around you. So I appreciate being included in like the joke, not the gang rape. Just
Yeah.
You have your limits a little bit though, Megan. I've seen it a few times where you're like,
Yeah.
all right, okay, we're done.
Right.
I'm not even sure what those limits are. There are some times where I'm just like, that joke was too easy, or like I've heard it before. Like
Right.
it's more like it wasn't.
Oh, you mean like every Asian joke you've ever made towards me?
But I know those. That's why I love them.
I know.
But also there are times when like Megan will like be hurt by a joke and then she's just faking. It's really funny.
Like
I
I'm
remember
supposed to be offended, like a normal person would be
Yeah,
offended.
like she like starts like tearing up. I remember one time you started tearing up or something, and I was like, "Oh no!" And you're like, "Ah, fuck you."
Well, I always thought it was
Right.
super obvious, and I'd be like, "Oh my God," and you would get really concerned about.
Yeah, because you're an awkward lady. I don't know what the fuck you look like when you cry. You fucking.
I don't cry. I'm dead
Controlled
inside.
emotion.
What are you talking about?
You have like weird angle emotions and shit.
When do you cry, Megan? Like what?
He's
Like
never
Mostly by
cried.
myself when I'm cutting myself.
oh, okay, tight.
Oh, it's so great.
Are you a crier? Do you cry at all?
I cry, usually not in front of people though.
Okay.
As a kid, I think I like cried at the drop of a hat.
Mhm.
And in my family, I don't know if you guys like experience this, but crying is not a thing in my family. So it's like, oh, stop it. That's nothing to cry about. So it's kind of like, don't let them see you cry. So I kind of learned like not to cry in front of people.
Right.
But like I'll watch a sad movie and bawl my eyes out. I remember I was watching Marley and Me in the theaters, and I was with my mom and my aunt. And I don't know if you've seen it, but it's sad as fuck. Gonna ruin the end here. The dog dies, and there's little kids crying about the dog. I think my dog had just died too. And I thought I heard like my aunt sniffling. And I was like, oh my God, she's crying. I was like, well, I guess it's okay if she's crying. I'm just gonna let it out. And I start bawling my eyes out. And she nudges me and she's like, geez, Megan, it's just a dog.
Wow.
I think she just had a runny nose.
Bitch.
Oh my god.
Oh shit.
And then I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not crying. I just dead dogs and crying children, they have no effect on me. I'm just as heartless as you. It's fine.
That's amazing.
You're talking about how like you don't like when people are like have to feel like they censor themselves. That's what I forgot. That was one of the reasons I brought up those people that I hung out with today. Like they go by they, and they're like, I know they have some PC tendencies because of things I've heard. And so I'm like, I don't know what the limits are. So you're always testing, right? You're trying to see like what's okay, what's not okay. What can I say to offend Megan at her core? That's what I want to know. I want you to crumble like the tofu I squeeze when I make scramble.
I don't know. So my love language is I have two acts of
Anger.
service. Is what anger?
Yeah.
Yep. I love when people get angry at me, but it's acts of service and quality time. So like words don't really mean shit to me.
Mhm.
So you can pretty much like joke around and say whatever. That doesn't affect me. But like if you do something shitty to me that like makes me think that you're actually a bad person or like don't respect me, that's kind of when I draw the line. Like if you actually gang raped me, that's
your limit? Because I didn't think you had limits. You just said.
I don't have limits when it comes to like jokes and just stupid shit that we're talking about. So
I know. That's so good.
Okay, so gang rape is the limit. What about rape?
what about regular rape?
Yeah.
I've cut people off for that as well. It's
Wow.
I know sometimes I'm a bitch, but
Jesus, you're all over the place.
that's my line. If I think
You're all over the place. I don't know where your morality stands.
and maybe that's my line. If I think that there's like honesty in these jokes that we make, like I shit on Dylan a lot about being Asian.
Yeah, because I can help it.
What?
Because I could be better.
You could be a better human being.
Yeah, I could be not Asian.
Not be Asian.
Yeah.
But like if someone was telling racist jokes and like I felt like there was some heart to that,
Yeah.
and they did like have some belief in that, I think that would kind of be a line for me.
Yeah, you can sense it.
I feel like the moments where I've caught you being like, okay, I've reached a limit was not about whether people felt that way, but it's, I don't know, like a couple of times where I could think of it, like I think there was a night where maybe myself and somebody else, or it could have just been me, just fucking overboard on overweight jokes. And you do it too, though. So I feel like I'm always feeding off of you. So we're both back and forth. And I feel like there was a night where you were just like, okay, I'm done with the fucking fat jokes. I was like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. I did it. I
think it's also hard with that because I'm trying to overcome a lot of like my own fat phobia and stuff. So it's kind of like stuff I used to find funny. Like I'm trying to like retrain myself to be like, actually, that's kind of a shitty thing to. So it's like some of the lessons that I've learned from TikTok and whatnot are kicking in, and they're like, oh yeah, we shouldn't be doing this anymore.
TikTokers are ruining you.
They're just destroying me.
Dumb. I can't remember what comedian. What was the guy? The comedian with the. He was a white guy. He was very portly, and he had a TV show that was animated where he was a kid and he was on a.
Louis Anderson.
Louis Anderson. I think Louis Anderson used to do this joke where like he'd get on stage, and he would start like even after 20 years of a stand-up career, he would do all these fat jokes, and then he would stop, and then he's like, okay, I'm gonna get into like my real material now. I can't not do a bunch of fat jokes because I'll be up here and people will, and if I don't mention that I'm fat, people will think, oh my God, does he know how fat he is? Like, yeah. So that sucks that, that he felt that way, but also it's a really good meta joke, I think.
That's how I felt with you, Dylan. When I first met you, I was like uncomfortable because I was waiting for you to acknowledge that you were Asian.
You didn't even know I was Asian.
Yeah, it took a while, and then as soon as you did, I could kind of relax around you. I was like, okay, cool.
Well, you know what's weird is I feel like it's a weird thing because I don't give a shit about like heritage, nationality, or otherwise. But I bring it up early on in new relationships because I want people to know that if I say something fucked up about Asians, that I am also part Asian.
Yes.
I went to the Asian market down the street. Like I can walk there yesterday with Fish, and I was like gonna say something Asian, and it wasn't even really a joke, but I was like, oh, that's like we're fucking anti-oppie right now. And I was like, I have a mask on and I can't say I'm sorry, we're pro-oppie, but you know what I meant.
I'm not sure what that means.
Asian American Pacific Islander. It's like basically this term that's getting big now, the same in a similar way that BLM, Black Lives Matter, because there's been so much anti-Asian sentiment in the country because of coronavirus and whatnot. Anyways, I'm in this market and I'm like, because it's gonna say something Asian. Oh no, it was kind of a joke, but I was like, I can't say Asian, so I said my people. So I said something derogatory, and then I said my people. So Fish knew what I was talking about, but also wasn't me yelling the word Asian in an Asian market where I kind of look Asian, but I kind of don't.
And you had the mask on, so all I could see were your eyes. So it's really hard to tell.
This is the most Asian part of my body.
Mouth is the most Asian.
Yeah.
Because when I think about Asian people, I think about their mouths and how they are very specific.
How oddly shaped they are.
Just like Dylan's.
We have almond mouths.
And I had my dick was out, so they certainly can't tell that I was Asian. So.
Because it's so big.
So big.
But there is also, I have some friends that are like 100% Mexican, but still look Asian.
Yeah.
So like you could even just be Mexican. I mean,
well, most people think I'm Mexican, I think. Like did you guys know what did you guys think I was when you met me? Do you remember?
All I knew is that you weren't white.
And weren't gonna like you because of it.
And so it was touch and go for a second.
It was awkward.
Yeah, it was awkward.
Like, this guy really needs to out himself as gay or whatever ethnicity.
I need to know what this thing is so I know how to approach it. So like I was like, I remember like I saw you, I started like walking sideways, like a crab.
Okay. I have a question. You were talking about this like memory you have of Megan. My first memory of Tito was.
Oh, this is so bad. Wait, no. Never mind. That's not true. Okay, keep going.
I don't think you know this.
Yeah.
I was at.
Not worst.
I was at a show at the Box. I want to say it was some student team. No, it wouldn't have been a student team because they didn't really start those. So it was maybe a showcase. I just remember the first time I saw you, Tito, you were standing against the wall. You were on stage. You were standing against the wall, and you were doing a typical Tito stance. And you were very animated and flamboyant. And I just remember thinking like, this guy stands out from the pack, how he carries himself and talks on stage. And also, I'm not going to assume he's gay because I'm kind of like that. And I've gotten that my entire life where people think I'm gay because of the way I talk or walk or whatever it is.
Dick.
but I was like, this guy is definitely a fag, like for sure. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it crossed my mind. Like I was just like, okay, this guy kind of white. That stance is like really kind of funny, but also animated. I was like, do I need to be like that as an improviser? I don't know. But anyways, that's my first memory of you, Tito, was you doing some bit on stage as an improviser.
Cool.
What are your first memories of each other?
I think we met at the box after the show, but I don't remember what show it was.
Yeah, I think I saw you on Student Showcase, and I thought, oh, this person's funny.
Yeah, I think you came up and introduced yourself and like said, I think I had been in the show, so you told me good job, and I said thanks.
That's cool.
It sounds like me. It sounds like Megan. She says thanks a lot.
I usually say I know. Jeez.
She's not much of a reciprocator.
And then she just like turns her back.
He was in the show. I think normally I do that, and then I wonder if that feels like if he was on stage. Good show, you too.
What's wrong with that? That's nice.
That guy wasn't on stage,
Like,
but she was.
like I just gave that compliment because they gave me a compliment,
Yeah.
or do they?
The only reason I've ever told anybody I love you is because they told me they love me. I love you. Oh yeah, I love you too.
Yeah, you too. Great.
I would-
You're-
I would tell people good job because I thought they did a good job.
And I think also when I can't say that like reciprocated thing because you didn't do the show, so it would have been weird if I was like, you too. Then you would have been like, this bitch. So I think that like I didn't give you a compliment back. I felt like a little like, oh, I'm such a bitch. I should have like nice shoes or I don't know.
Hey, nice. I like the way you pluck your eyebrows. They're great.
Yeah, your vodka's excellent.
Thank you.
My friend can drink it because it's gluten free. So thank you for that.
Aw, that's nice.
All vodka is, but okay.
All vodka is?
Right? Isn't it?
I don't know.
I mean, I know
Well-
Tito's especially like Carrie's is a gluten free brand.
I didn't. Well, I'm not knowledgeable on vodka outside of my own.
My friend has celiacs. Show some fucking respect.
I'm not knowledgeable about anything except Tito's vodka.
I'm too knowledgeable about gluten, but not knowledgeable enough. I think probably a lot of vodka is gluten free, but I don't know.
My first memory of Megan is
Me not complimenting you back.
is her not complimenting me back and me being like, this fucking bitch. I just gave her a compliment. No, it's interacting with you, maybe like on the post or just like before that, just I don't know. I just got this vibe that like you did not like me in any way. For at least for a while. I think we're doing better now. But I always get the vibe like you like Dylan is a person that can joke in a rough way and you go, oh well he's joking. But I always felt like all of my jokes you were like, oh he means them. So he's a kind of a bad person. I have to stay away from him. And that was the vibe I got from you for a long time. And that's really my first memory of you.
I think that's fair. I think I had a hard time getting a grasp on you
Mm-hmm.
because we didn't really know each other.
No.
Um,
I feel like I would rub you the wrong way. I wouldn't try to. I would try to be like nice and kind, but like there was just something that I was doing that was wrong. I could tell. And I was like, well,
I also have issues with nice and kind. I don't like to be treated nice and kind.
What?
Dylan treated me like a dick from the start, and that's why we're besties. No,
I have zero memory of meeting you.
I remember.
when we're having a breakthrough, me and Megan.
Oh, sorry. Hold on.
No, no, this is too terrifying for us.
There needs to be a witness.
I think I keep people at a distance until I can make my own judgments about it.
Mhm.
And so I wasn't sure about you yet.
Yeah.
So I also noticed that I tend to keep straight single men at a distance.
Mhm.
I don't know if you guys picked up on that.
Yeah, they're
But-
all trying to get into your pants, Megan.
Well, I never want to give anyone an impression that like that's what I'm
That's on the table.
Yeah.
I've had that impression though since I met you. I'm pretty sure if we wanted to, we would.
Oh, we already have a bunch. I've drugged you and you enjoyed it. But I have noticed that like my best guy friend, like Phil and I hung out because he had a girlfriend from the start.
Yeah,
And-
so it was like safe.
He broke up. I was like, oh, got to pull back a little bit.
No,
Or
you did. Did you really?
He was with Jessica. So I was like, oh, he's not a threat. It's not even like a threat. It's just like,
No,
They-
I think it's a safety thing with women. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like when I tell them I have a partner, it like lowers the guard a little bit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because then there's all these like weird things of like, I don't necessarily know that these guys are attracted to me, but I don't ever want to get to that spot. And I don't want it to get awkward in these like social situations.
Mm, mm.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
it sucks. It sucks that you have to kind of like deal with that. I feel like, so like I'm feeling lonely and whatever. I think about like that Fish is on her app, or the Bumble Friends app, and she's like making friends on there, and I'm like, what? I was like, I don't know if I would do that. I'm pretty sure Phil used to do that. I don't think he does it anymore.
Yeah, but I never believed it. It was like he's like on Bumble or whatever, and he's just like, I'm just trying to invite people to the show that we're doing. I was like, oh, okay.
I thought he was just trying to make friends. I don't know what his end goal was, but I was thinking about it. I was like, what if I did that? I was like, I would feel real uncomfortable though, like trying to make male friends. I feel like I'd be way more comfortable making female friends, but I don't think females would be as comfortable making friends with me
They wouldn't believe it.
because they wouldn't believe. I feel like that would be. I mean, I don't know, but also we're in the Bay where things are a little bit more progressive than men have to be friends with men and women have to be friends with women.
I think just a little more clear cut. I forgot what I was going with this. I was also talking to my friend Sam. Like when I meet a guy, I do kind of put them into like my friend zones, if you will, or my categories. So like I have to go in with my initial intention. So like when I'm on dating apps, it's like I know what I want from these guys. And when I meet like guys in person, I'm like, oh well, I got to make the call now. Like we're just friends, right? And it's gonna stay that way until we die. But then I never develop friendships necessarily with the guys I'm dating.
Yeah, so friend zone is maybe a bit too much.
So what?
Friend zone is just too much. It's too kind.
What do you mean too kind?
Well, if you don't develop like friendships. I'm sorry, maybe like I misinterpreted what you just said.
Oh, he's saying that you're friend zoning them, but you're not even friends with them. So it's just a zone.
No, it's the opposite. So my guy friends, they are my friends. But guys that I'm dating, like I don't necessarily develop that friendship first. It's more like thinking of them more as potential spouses or whatever. So it's more like a job interview than like a friendship that we build throughout those dates.
Yeah, friendship is important in a relationship. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
I mean, I've learned that. I still don't know how to treat men like human beings if I'm attracted to them.
I don't know why I got into this conversation with my friend Sarah, but she was like, Dylan, one thing you got to know about dating, because she was my dating coach essentially when I first started getting into it. And she's like, women will show up to a date and they're gonna think to themselves, I'm gonna fuck this guy or I'm gonna marry this guy. Not that all of them feel that way, but
Try again.
or that option. But it's like we kind of categorize, and obviously she's one person and she doesn't represent everybody, but she's like, some of the men, obviously you're thinking of like, oh, this is actually a suitor. This is somebody that would be good to grow a life with. And this somebody who's probably fucks really good, and I'd rather do that with this person. And she's like, Dylan, you're kind of more of, the family guy. You're the guy that the girls want to be with for a while, and it's not really a fuck thing. And I'm like, well, how do I turn it into a fuck thing? What am I doing wrong? How do I get that Tito pelvic energy power? I don't know how to do it. Tito, You're saying no, but you have chest hair coming out. I don't even have any chest hair to give out. Look, it's.
I mean,
No.
some girls like the baby seal look.
That's true.
Yeah, yeah.
I like a smooth guy.
So, anyways, I don't know. I don't know why I brought all that up. Oh, it is because you're talking about the dating and how you categorize right away.
I think that's kind of there was a guy I went on a date with, and he was like a meathead. He kind of reminded me of like a blonde Screech,
Wow.
like super into himself. He was a car salesman, so like the date, he was fun to like talk to and whatever, but I was like, this isn't going anywhere, but like we can still hang out and talk. So he had like friend zone me. My initial plan on that first date was like, maybe we'll like make out a few times, maybe we'll like go on a hike and make out in the woods, and then like we'll call it quits.
Jesus, that's
It might be fun.
going from like not feeling safe to feeling very safe.
I mean, that would be like third date.
Take him into the woods, away from everybody, and start some shit.
So like I never really had any intentions with this guy. But then we had gone out on a few dates and he never like made a move. So I was like, he's still asking me out, but like he's not making a move. So this is kind of weird. And then he told me that he was dating like his neighbor and he was really into it. So he had kind of friend zoned me. And I was like, okay, well, I didn't know we were going here, but I guess I'm okay with it because I didn't really want much from you anyway. But then he started treating me like he broke my heart and like, you know, he just friend zoned me and he was just such a good guy and I couldn't have him. And like we stayed friends for a few months, but then he would date other girls and he would be like, why are you so jealous? I'm like, I'm not jealous. You just like stood me up. You're just being a shitty friend. It's not because I like give a shit that you're dating anyone. You're just not a good friend. But I don't know where I was going with that story, but
No, I think it says something either about men or something, but clearly it almost, I don't know, man, was he trying to like put into your brain that you were jealous? No, he was probably, or do you think that he was like, he's just insecure in himself, so he's like,
I think he needs women to like him.
Yeah.
And so the fact that like I wasn't falling over myself for him kind of threw him. So he put it in his head that like, oh, I had to have him. And that's why like anytime I stood up for myself or we got in a fight, it was just me being a bitch. I actually saw him at Bar Uno one time. He was with another girlfriend. He could not be single. We were only friends for maybe like 6 months. And in that time, he had 3 girlfriends, like serious, legit girlfriends. He fell in love all the time.
Like a red flag.
Yeah, he was not a stable person, but he was entertaining as fuck. So we had a dog together.
what?
What?
He wanted a dog, so we went to the pound. He adopted it, but he was
impregnated.
yeah, he was always at work. So I would go to his apartment, let the dog out, play with her, and then he'd get home and I'd leave. Or like I'd watch the dog on the weekends. So she was like my dog, but he owned her and had all the responsibility of having the dog.
It sounds like it could have been a fun, fruitful friendship.
It was for like the time being, but then he was supposed to be my +1 to my friend's wedding. And he just decided to go on, like we were planning this for whatever months. I told him like, yeah, because he was friends with these people too. I said, this wedding is this day, this weekend. And I called him up that night, like, do you want to meet there? What's going on? He's like, oh, I'm out of town with so-and-so. I was like, you just didn't fucking tell me. And then he's like, I feel like you're being really weird about this. I was like, I'm just pissed that like we made plans and you just bailed on me.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
my friend is paying for this. Like when you cancel on a wedding, people still like pay for that shit, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of fucked over my friends too. So I just kind of stopped taking his calls after that. Cause I was like, you know, you're good on your own. We don't need to talk.
You dropped him. You cut him out of your life.
Yeah.
Was that a normal thing? Or was it that one event? Because I
It's
feel
been like building up, but that was kind of like the cutting off point. Like, okay, you fucked me over enough time. You cut me off.
Okay.
Like you've canceled so many plans. Cause we used to hang out like 7 days a week because he was fucking needy when he's alone. And then he got a girlfriend and I saw him like maybe once a month. And
That's shitty. I don't like it.
yeah, he was just being real shady. And then he was telling me that I was being too clingy because like I wanted to hang out with my friend every now and then.
There is a thing though, like that I've just grown to be okay with, that when somebody gets a new partner, you're not going to see them very much for those first few months. And then you might see them more often after that, and you might not. I just feel like when people get partners, they just get clingy and you just bye bye, see you later, Kelsey. Like, have fun. But no, she was really good about it though. She's a good friend. But I just feel like a lot of people are like that. They just get so engulfed in their relationship and they just forget other people. And I don't think that they're trying to be malicious friends.
No, it's
Well,
just,
that's always been a pet peeve of mine. Like in high school, I always had friends that, would get super involved in this relationship. And I think it was still a huge pet peeve when I was friends with this guy. And that's kind of why I was like, you know what? I'm done with this.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like be here whenever you're single. Because I'm not that kind of friend to people. And I found people that aren't that kind of friend to me either.
You're also never with anybody.
But when I do date guys, I do like invest a lot of time with them for the month that we're together. But I still make sure, because I know how shitty it is when your friends like can't find time for you.
Mm-hmm. So are
And-
you telling me people that have like not found time for you just dropped them all?
No. Well,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
no, but yes.
Little
There was
self-reflection.
So it's usually once they like break up with a guy, or sometimes they find a middle ground. Then we like get back together and like be friends and have our equilibrium time. But I had one friend in high school that she was always blowing us off for her boyfriend. But then they got married and I never saw her anymore. So it's kind of like they just it just fades out on their own. Like sometimes it just sticks to where they devote themselves to that person that they're dating and they can't get out of that, I think there's like a nesting period when you first start dating, but some people they have friends more as like back burner people. Like
Yeah,
in a relationship or not. I mean, if they're in a relationship, they don't need friends and they won't effort. And I think he was that type to where he just friend is a girlfriend filler.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I don't know. Me and my friend Beth, we were single at the same time, so we hung out a lot. And then we both got partners, and now we don't see each other as often. But she's also one of the few people from New Mexico that's fucking visited me, assholes.
I'm sorry, I've been busy with my busy social schedule.
I know, making bread with BB or whatever.
I gotta go to open mics. I don't have time.
Yeah, I saw you hosted something the other day.
Hmm?
How was it?
It was rough.
Oh.
It was ultimately a good show, but they asked me to do I memorized a lot to do actual hosting work, and it was stilted delivery because it was all in my head, and it was difficult. But it was a learning experience, and I know what I did wrong. I know what I did well, and I'm excited to do more.
Give me a note. Give me a note that you made for yourself. What do you want to do to fix it up a little?
When I host In a Detective, as the host of that show, my role is to impart information first and be funny second. Okay? But I went to a stand-up show kind of with that rhythm in my head. Because they were asking me to you have to thank the venue, talk about these sponsors, mention this, get the crowd warm. It was all I wrote out a whole paragraphs long script that I memorized that day, plus my set list of jokes, and so I was delivering it as a host mode for DD, not for a stand-up show. People are expecting you to be funny. It's a bonus.
Gotcha.
So that's the main note. My rhythm.
I feel like walking up, you got a list of people you got to thank, whatever. All right, let's do the funny shit now, or I don't know. I remember Scott's telling me that something about a host. He gave me a hosting note or something, but he was saying what you said for DD. He's like, if the funny stuff comes, it comes, but it's all about just get the information out there, keep it short, keep it simple. I really like that Scott edits himself in that way. Not when he's trying to deliver comedy, I don't think, but just in general, when he's hosting or doing other things.
He's succinct.
Yeah, he's succinct, and I even a lot of his jokes are like that too. They can be succinct. He's not long-winded or anything. He's not
refreshing.
He's not Dylan.
Yeah. Do you ever feel guilty about being long-winded? Because I do.
Yes, I think often. If it's not on here, it's with the people I hung out with earlier today. It's whatever. But I think I'm learned honestly through improv, which is I feel like is now just a joke that like, oh, you've done improv, it changes your life. You learn so much, and it's so applicable to all other aspects of your life, which is I think absolutely true, but is also a
Gotta be a dick about it.
but girls now that date people that do improv because it's becoming more popular hear it all the time. But anyways, yeah, I think through improv I've kind of like, oh, okay, there's got to be push and pull. You can't just fucking. And then I also learned a lot about that through dating too, where it's like, that's where it's like, okay, how honest was it that you were carrying all the weight, or that you were just talking the whole time? And I don't think that any of us probably have that problem, but I bet a lot of people do.
Do you ever feel, I mean, I know I'm self-conscious about being long-winded. And so I have like a time limit on myself, and I try and explain myself. And then I'm like, oh, that time's running up. So I'm just going to kind of jump to the end and get to the point, and then like, it doesn't come out right.
Yeah. You try to like speed up your speech to speak faster.
And then you're like, that's not what I wanted to say at all. That's just.
That isn't what I wanted to say.
But I set it up and didn't clarify shit. Like,
Right.
got to an end.
Wow, that's really kind of weird. I think for me, my editing is more like, all right, I got to cut out some extraneous information, or I don't have to. What's the word? I tend to, like modify things, or not modify, but I tend to like put something in the front of what I'm saying prior to actually saying the thing. So an example is like, this is okay. Here's the beginning of my statement. Listen, I'm not entirely sure if I feel this way. I kind of do, but here, I'll let you know in just a moment. And then I get to the thing. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Yeah. Do either of you do that?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
A qualifier. I guess that's what kind of is, like kind of qualifying everything I do. But also I think it's funny to do, kind of.
Yeah.
I do more, I like cut out the meat. So
I mean, the important part?
story is a joke.
Leave in the fat, cut out the meat, right? That's how
you're cutting out the important part.
Exactly. So it's like, maybe my joke is about getting bit by a dog. And so I'll start with, well, I was walking down the street and I was just getting some coffee. And then I'll be in my head thinking like, okay, you're giving too much information and you need a bail right now. So it'll be like, anyway, I got bit by a dog and it hurt real bad.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's from like growing up in a big family. Like there used to be like 20 people in a kitchen at one time talking. So it's like you have the spotlight for 5 seconds. And if you take a breath, someone's going to step in.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like get to your point as fast as you can.
But you want to like, I don't know, like I can listen to you all talk and like you draw me in. And I feel like that's what you're trying to do, right? I feel like Tito is like kind of a master of like drawing people in, making sure to leave that thing for the very end. Like I remember when Jessica would tell jokes and she was trying to say something funny or whatever, she put the punchline at the beginning, and I'm like, no, nobody cares. You got to save it. You got to savor that shit. And you also have to make the stuff in the beginning interesting. Not that she was trying to joke tell, but if she's like telling a story where clearly something's funny, I would kind of give her notes on her stories.
I with my mom, because my mom will tell she'll say, so yesterday I was at the store. Well, it really started back in 1966. And I'm like, so I think it's also a little bit of karma on me for shitting on her. So I'm like, well, now I have to really edit my shit.
But was her story going to be funny or intriguing? Probably not.
Sometimes she has pretty good stories, but a lot of times I can zone out and get to the good part.
What, so where does your, I mean, obviously, I feel like you asked me that question, Tito, because you have a lot of that guilt.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. What do you do to make yourself feel better or make others feel better?
I don't talk to people. I don't hang out with people.
Shut up.
That is what I do. Like I'm not good at maintaining friendships.
You're like master of building. Like you went up to Megan and said, "Hey, like really nice show," and now you're friends. I remember the first time you and I actually really kind of hung out, like we auditioned for the same show and then for the team, remember?
Mhm.
And then we hung out at a coffee shop afterwards, and you and Elena were so good at like befriending me, and like you guys were awesome. Like,
Yeah, I'm good at starting friendships.
oh, you're not good at keeping them.
Not good at keeping them. Because I, in my family, like I do view myself as like the least funny person in my
Great.
family. Uh, and you would have to like jump in, whenever. And so like it's a family of interrupters. And my sister, like she has so little patience. So little patience. Like if I am boring for 3 seconds, she is done and she will leave the room.
That sucks.
Yeah, it really does. And so you'll try to like speak fast to like get your point out before people lose interest, but people on a subconscious level sense that you are speeding up and that you are not confident in yourself, and so they lose interest in the faster you talk. And so that sucks because my solution is like part of the problem. And right now I'm pausing. I'm trying to think of what to say next, and it creates this like awkward rhythm. And my sister would get angry at that rhythm, and so she'd be like, "Just stop pausing. Just say what you want to say." But if I just try to say what I want to say, like I can't get it out cleanly. And so I would just like not talk. I actually got into comedy, one, because I love comedy, I want to do it, but also so I could communicate with my sister, my brother better. And so during COVID, she came out here and she lived here for like a month.
Yeah.
And like all my training, it didn't matter. I was still a fucking bore. I remember like driving with her on the highway. I was saying something and she was just like, God, just get to it. Like, now stop stuttering, stop like pausing between sentences. And so I just stopped talking for 15 minutes. It's like, I don't know how to handle this. And I hear it from other people that I'm long-winded, and I will connect it to my dysgraphia, like my difficulty with writing, because I never got good at formulating essays, writing essays, like having like, okay, here's my thesis statement. Now like my 3 points, and then the 3 sentences about each point. I can't do that in my brain. So I have to just keep going until I get it all out. Coupled that with like interrupting, right, from a family of interrupters. Like I know that it's strained my friendship with Phil, because he's not an interrupter.
Mhm.
Like if he's talking, he wants to not be interrupted.
Yeah,
I will do that, and I feel like a horrible piece of shit.
That really sucks. I'm so sorry.
So I've every time when we get onto this, I make a mental effort, because I'll notice like if I hang back and I'm a bit more dry in my delivery, a bit more precise with my placement of something, like it's more effective. And so I like this as kind of a training ground for that.
Because you practicing your.
Yeah, but I can get wrapped up like talking about Gigi. You were trying to talk about I just want to get a second girlfriend. It was a lot of extraneous bullshit to get there.
But
So I'm trying to find funny on every single path there instead of just getting to the punchline.
maybe it's just because I connected your sense of humor so much that like I could just listen to all of it, because I love because all of the steps are also part of that fun process of like,
I appreciate hearing that from you, because
yeah, like you fucking talking about this old origami Asian, like what the fuck, and like it's just that world building. You're a world builder, and you're making us you're sucking us into the thing, and like but that's gonna
and then
work.
I'm fine with somebody interrupting and being like, oh, let's go down like an origami path, and then we get back to it. And so like my stories take a while to get to the punchline, because I'm like, jump in at any time and fucking bloat it up. Like,
But it's also kind of like that's okay. You have to kind of be okay with that, right?
it's for some people. Megan, you were a thought?
Well, so there's 2 thoughts. First of all, you can tell your sister that you talked to a speech therapist, and she's actually the problem with your communication. When someone's like having trouble getting words out, you don't say, "Oh, hurry, keep going."
Yeah. She do that all the time.
Yeah, that's not. I mean, you're not having trouble with communication. She is.
Yeah.
And I mean, you are in that you're having trouble getting your thoughts out, but she's not making it any better on you.
Right.
The other thing is comedy or talking to comedians or people that think they're funny. It's also
Not always the same.
there's also it's a hard place to communicate.
Yeah.
Because they're quick thinkers and they want to get in on the subject before that joke disappears.
Right.
So like, the second you say origami, they're thinking, oh, I have an origami joke. I have to say this before he goes off on the second girlfriend part.
Yeah.
And then you can't talk because no one wants to be like, oh, remember how we were talking about origami? I have a joke about that now.
Yeah.
So you have to get used to the interruptions in that because that's how their minds are thinking.
And
But-
I'm used to that.
Back to your story. Because I mean, interrupting is rude, typically, let's say, in most, but it's also a necessary thing that you have to do if you ever want to be a part of the conversation. So there's like a way to interrupt, but then it's also okay to bring your story back to where you want to be. So I think that origami story was a perfect example. We interrupted it, but you still got to your punch and we got there eventually.
This is the most intriguing thing that's ever happened. Tito having a speech problem, Megan as a speech therapist talking about it, almost not diagnosing, but and also Tito, tell me if I'm wrong. You've never been actually diagnosed, but you're pretty sure this is what you have.
I would put like my life on it.
Yeah.
I haven't been properly diagnosed.
And you know what? I don't think school would or should have been a problem for you like it was if you had a speech therapist or somebody who had somebody at the school who specialized in like understanding special education or whatever. Like you got fucked is really what happened.
Back in our day, special education wasn't like how it is today.
Yeah.
Like
Certainly not.
when we were in school, they had like their separate classrooms that they went into, and it was basically just to kind of get them away from the general education kids. So they're like not ruining their education.
Well, now it's all about immersion, right? I'm starting to learn all this stuff now.
Yeah, it's about like inclusion and teaching them at their level and actually teaching them, not just trying to like separate them from other kids. And
Yeah.
so I think if we had the support of today, yeah, I think he would have done, because I feel I have a lot of students that, they have trouble with understanding things and they'll be like, oh, I'm so stupid. I'm like, you're not stupid. Your brain just works differently.
I hear that all the time. It drives me up a wall. I'm like, dude, you're not just stupid. You're also ugly. Really into them. They don't get it.
I'm so
No,
happy.
the other part that I love about you being here and like saying all that, Megan, is that you're also a comedian or like you do comedy or you like comedy. So like
I'm the person that thinks I'm funny.
you're that person that thinks you're, but like you're approaching this whole thing in like multiple aspects, which is crazy because there's got to be, there's like speech therapists for orators. Like you're like a speech therapist for comedians. Like there's got to be you're going to be the first person to do that.
I think a lot of it's just diagnosing my own shit. Like everything that Tito was explaining was shit that happened to me growing up. And it's why I have my own hangups about communicate. Like I'm a speech therapist that doesn't really like feel comfortable talking all the time.
Yeah, which is
like if I open up my mouth, people will realize that like I don't know what I'm talking about. So it's like, sum it up.
I kind of want to bring Fish in here I don't know if she'll agree, but I also have to pee at the same time. But I kind of want to bring her here to talk about that topic of like what it means to be in a conversation with comedians, because it was difficult it still is, I think, but like I feel like you explained it so well, Megan. So like, can I see if I could bring her in?
I think you should, but for you to bring her in and then bounce to go urinate is kind of dick.
No. I'll go urinate and then grab her afterwards.
Okay, cool. Yeah, this is good.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Well, no.
Wait, Megan, did you have what were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just saying I might not be able to explain it again, but we can see.
You did a good job the first time, so buck up.
Well, this is.
We lost our middleman. What do we talk about?
No, we both know what this is. Like, we need a middleman. This is why I was like, this is the perfect time to bring this up, Megan. We had a rocky start the first time we met each other.
I'm glad you brought that up though. Like, I don't think I notice how standoffish I am. Like, I didn't dislike you. I think I'm just standoffish and it takes me a while to like warm up to people, especially straight single guys. Well, were you with Elaine at the time? Maybe I didn't know about Elena.
I probably was, but I think when we were like, doing the post and stuff, I certainly wasn't. And that was rocky. I mean, everything about the post was rocky.
Rocky for me in general.
Yeah.
So I was not in a good mental health state at that point. And I felt like I was trying so hard to get this team to work and it just wasn't working.
Yes.
And I was like, I don't know what the fuck else to do. And I feel like it's all on me and I don't know how to fix it. Like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
That's
But I know that I'm doing something. Huh?
that's how I felt as well, because like I was on the hive. I'd like done other stuff. It was like I should be able to like coalesce this. And I couldn't. And I was like, how am I hurting this team? What am I doing to help it?
But I think
and you
most
probably
of
felt that.
that we were feeling the same way. And
Yeah.
that's 'cause we were all worried we were the problem, but we were all worried to admit that we were the problem.
Yes.
So I was excited about our last one, but then that just fucking COVID. I felt like we were getting a better footing with our last team.
Yes, we were. Also, we were all a bunch of improvisers, not necessarily actors. And then like Danielle came on, and it was just this reminder of like, oh yeah, just like acting like a human being will do wonders for your scene work. And
Yeah.
then sprinkle some improv on top.
Yeah.
That was like the great and also frustrating thing of, oh yeah, she just started doing improv and she's like killing it because she knows how to be grounded. God damn it.
But she also had like a lot of experience with, I feel like improv's like her warm up.
Yeah. She's a very seasoned person. Yeah, I walked into her. She was just in town.
Yeah, I follow her on Instagram and she had like a friend get together because she was in town.
Yeah, I was coming out of this date, and Josh and Danielle walked up, and I was like, "Oh, hey, Josh, you're looking great. Danielle, you're looking great." And Josh was happy to see me. We hugged, and Danielle was just like very removed. I'm like, like I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I'm friends with Phil. I like what? I don't know. I don't know why he's that way.
Sometimes I know my behavior isn't always based on like other people.
That's fair. Hey guys.
I've been just a bitch because I'm in my head and not because of who's around me. So maybe she's having a bitchy day.
Yeah, that could be it. It was still nice to see him. And they seemed happy, so whatever.
I like kind of heard both of your conversation when I was peeing, and it reminded me of a conversation I had with Tiffany from the box.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to bring that up, but I'll put a pin in that. And then I went to go grab fish, and I was just like, Megan said something that like fascinated me, and I have to tell you. And she's like, "Wait, I got to get ready." And I was like, "What, to look like an emo hobo? Is that what you needed to say?" Anyways, yeah. So she put on her beanie, and she looks great.
Oh, nice.
Like a great emo hobo. Just been like getting into real talk, and it's been good.
Yeah. So the reason I brought you here is two things. Like, you got to go back to Albuquerque because this is too hard. No.
He has no friends, so now he's gonna get rid of the one friend he has in San Francisco.
Yeah. Megan and I were trying to work things out. So if you could just switch.
Oh my god.
Do you want to have Fish explain her feelings on this, or do you want to explain them?
Wait, Fish explain her feelings, or me explain Fish's feelings?
Yeah, on why she's here.
Oh. I think she would be more comfortable if I teed it up, and then she could explain her feelings, and then we'll like put a bow on it. Does that make sense?
This feels uncomfortable already.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine.
Stress on.
So earlier in our conversation, I said something along the line. It was whatever it was amazing. But I said something along the lines of like comedians that you mentioned very early that it was difficult when we were all together, all the comedians together, because you didn't know when to like get in. It's kind of like jumping through traffic. And that like you felt a little bit felt that it was difficult.
Yeah.
Tough. Where are you
Yeah.
going? Are you getting the cat?
Yes.
You have your hand raised?
Yeah, I just want to make it clear that we weren't like talking about you, Fish. We were talking about like early memories of each other and meeting each other and like difficulties that we've had.
Yeah.
Mm.
Patient, and that came up naturally.
Talking shit about you, basically what we're doing.
Podcast is. I'm sorry, it's just become that.
So then Tito started talking about how like he grew up in a family where he thinks his family is funnier than him and can like get their shit out real quick. So it's kind of like he grew up around like a bunch of comedians,
Mm.
and Tito was the slowest, dumbest of the bunch.
Aw.
But like I told you, like Tito also like remember I was trying to figure out, I was like, I think Tito's like, it was like something to do with writing. I'm not sure what it is or what it's called, but he mentioned like dysgraphia is what it's called.
It's called dyslexia. It's into the same ballpark.
Okay, yeah. So anyways, and then but Megan is a speech therapist and she kind of knows about all this shit,
Yeah.
right? And so she's approaching it like, yeah, I know about the comedy thing because I grew up in a family like that, but I'm also trained in understanding speech therapy. Anyways, it was just all very interesting. You should watch our podcast.
Watched what we'd been recording.
So I was like, Fish has got to hear this, but also we want to know how you feel first because I just spoke for you, so I want to know like, how would you describe it?
Describe what?
How it was difficult when we were all around each other, like you and the comedians, and you're like, I don't know how to get in there. I don't know how to like talk with these aliens.
It was just a lot of like,
Mm-hmm.
and then not saying nothing, but like, then it kind of felt like just like, I don't know, just kind of disconnected from the whole group a little bit, just like laughing into the group, but not really like with the group. I don't know.
Were you just waiting for a laugh break where everybody's laughing and you would just laugh?
No. Well, no. Like, I was just observing and like participating in the only way that I really could.
Which is
like just laughing at your guys' jokes, which were funny, but like that was really all I had to contribute. Because I'm not a comedian and I also am not like aggressive enough in conversation to just like interrupt. I also like hate interrupting. I think that's like my biggest pet peeve is like I hate when people interrupt each other and I hate being interrupted and I hate interrupting. So
and that's all we do.
Yeah. And so like back in my like drug days when all my coked out friends would just be like talking at each other, I would like make them time out and be like, they're talking now. It's their turn to talk. You wait your turn. And like,
You have a thing about that.
it just drives me insane.
We used to get in fights about, she's like, I stop interrupting me. Like, but it's also me and I know I'm an interrupter.
I mean, that's also how people are. People like to listen, but they also, you have to give them a chance to talk. I mean, a lot of times kids with autism, they perseverate on the same topic. So I had a kid that was like obsessed with, huh?
What does that mean?
Perseverate means that you just stay on the same topic.
Okay.
So I had a kid that was obsessed with Titanic, and anytime like we talked, he could work the Titanic into any conversation. Well, he worked it into a conversation. He would just start talking about the Titanic.
Just drinking water. The Titanic was on the water.
But I asked, like, okay, what's this inference about? He's like, I don't know, but I watched this Titanic documentary last night, and it's like, dude, we're not talking about that one right now. We got to bring it back. And then we also work a lot on like topic maintenance and then passing the conversational turn. And these are all things that like comedians are kind of bad at.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to interrupt if you want to get your word in. And I think it's kind of accepted a little bit more in comedy fields, right? Like we don't get super offended by being interrupted, right?
Because we're all that way.
I mean, we've learned that we have to if we want to say anything, we have to. And even then, we're not great. I'm sure if you like watch back at this episode, you'll see me going like, oh, but then you just kind of have to like wait until they take a breath to get it in. But I think everyone kind of feels that same. It's hard with comedians to jump into conversation because we're not great at, we're great at talking, but we're not great at conversing.
I want to add to this. One, it's a bit more difficult because we're doing this over Zoom. That just adds to the time delay and stuff.
Of course.
With interrupting, I grew up in a family where
You know,
shut
because
the fuck up, I'm talking. I know that I'm trying to get many ideas out now. Look, the one I wanted to get through is because I've done improv and stand up. If I had to choose who to hang out with, improvisers by a mile. Because improvisers, as bad as we might seem, like we are built to support conversation. Like stand-up comics, like that is brutal. Like everybody just standing around waiting. Like that can be fun too, but improvisers are much better at recognizing when and how to pass the energy and kind of, yeah, like you said, maintain a topic, take care of it.
Also, stand up, I was thinking, you guys kind of have your script and where you're going with that conversation. And you probably don't want people to like step in and throw off that script and where you're going. It's a lot harder to cover with improvisers. It's like, well, we'll get to our point eventually.
yeah, that was another thing that Fish and I would talk about a lot is like she, and tell me if I'm wrong, it felt like fuck, I couldn't get to that point because like we've already wandered from it, or you know what I'm talking about? Like, how would you explain that?
No, just like that. Like the topic has like came and went so fast that it's like it's not that important to bring it back around. You know?
Okay. Yeah.
Like it just felt like it was already wrapped up, and so like bringing like my one thought on the subject back just seemed awkward and weird conversationally. You know.
But also feeling frustrated that you couldn't get that out, or am I projecting? Because I used to do that.
I don't think I get like too frustrated. I know that I would in the beginning, but I've like gotten used to it, I think.
Okay.
So I don't know. I guess.
What about the like so like the interrupting thing, or well, you were gonna say something else, Megan.
Tito has his hand raised though.
Okay, I'm gonna politely talk next then. I wanted to talk about the interrupting thing, about how for you, Fish, it's a major pet peeve. It's very rude, which I agree with. It is. But I grew up in a family with siblings, and it was funny was the currency. Like you get more attention if you were funnier, and it wasn't like our mother was forcing us to do that. It's just, listen, like all three of us are funny, so who can be funnier? And you just learn how to jump in and jump out. I'm from a family of interrupters, so to me, it's not rude because I've developed the ability, at least I think I have, to jump in, say a thing, and then step out and let it go back to where it was. I don't feel like I am taking you away from what you were trying to complete. I'm adding to it in my own way, and I'm like letting it go back.
Yeah, it's a tag to the through line.
Yeah, I'm not trying to like steal thunder and then keep running.
I've also found that, I can't remember where I heard this, but like it's okay. Like one of the best things you could do as somebody like kind of from the outside is just acknowledge that somebody said something. Oh, what were you saying again? Or like you were making a point, like just trying to bring that back. Or like right now where I'm like, I remember Megan was going to say something. What were you going to say, Megan, idiot?
Son of a bitch. I think that was kind of what we were talking about, was typically interrupting is kind of rude, and it's something that we teach kids that they shouldn't do. But there's also times, like you said, if you don't interrupt in that moment, the topic's going to change and you won't get to say that. So it's kind of like acceptable to interrupt at that time because it's the only chance you're going to get. Whereas the person telling the story, they can bring it back. So it's rude not to let you interrupt.
I wanted to add to this rudeness is that if you're going to interrupt, if you like take a second, and be like, well, I have a thing to add on to this. That is rude. Like jump in, say your thing, and get out. That's more polite.
Hmm.
It's like having a strong edit in an improv scene. You know?
I think I try to do that more now, where it's like if somebody's telling me a story and like I feel like we could all somewhat have a more fun time if like you make light of something, or if it's like, oh yeah, that thing, just real quick, and then just kind of getting out of it. But also, I think like I feel like one of the things that we talked about, or like I feel like I was telling you a lot, was that like it's okay when things flow or conversations moving from point A to point B to point C to point D, because that's what conversations are, right? It is just a flowing river of thoughts and like connecting dots and ideas.
There's also different conversational styles
Yeah.
depending on culture. So I think it's like Italians maybe go like A to B. And then I know my Mexican family, it's a circle. And so, wait, no, maybe Asian culture is more of a circle. So you start here, you get real.
Make a yin yang joke.
I'm trying to, yeah, I'm always just trying to work that in there. And I think Mexican culture, it might start here and then it bounces over and then goes back and then bounces over here and back. And then it's like a spider web more. So it's like we were all taught different ways to communicate. Some of us were taught like not to share stories. Some of us were taught to share stories in like very specific ways. So
I never thought of that.
Like learning
That's
our
so
different.
cool. So that you could visually see like with the circle thing, like, yep, we're gonna come back around. That's fucking good story.
Yeah. Being able to map out different conversational styles.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You can probably look up like visualization of cultural communication or something, because I remember seeing slides of that in school. I don't remember which cultures spoke exactly which way, but
and it's also,
based on my mom, she goes all over the fucking place.
I remember when I was when Jess and I first moved to New Mexico, she had to take a class in like culture, like Native American culture, in order to be a therapist in New Mexico. And like I remember her saying like, yeah, I learned that like you're not gonna get a lot of like personal information, or how do you explain your people? But that it's more inward, or it's not as okay to just be like very out there, or
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
They're just more like closed off, I guess. Like funny and will joke around with you all the time usually, but like mostly closed off, you know?
Like with personal. Okay,
Yeah.
It's like I remember like one of my favorite lines in Mad Men. I remember he said like, I was taught that talking about yourself is bad. So like in certain part of it, and I think his character was from the South, and also the show was set in the 60s, when misogyny was real tough.
Not anymore, it's been solved.
Yeah, we figured it out, but it was mostly in this podcast. I think we solved sexism.
My favorite line from Mad Men, I only watched a few episodes. My favorite line from Mad Men is during the episode when the Cassius Clay, Muhammad Ali, is boxing, and they're all kind of walking around like taking bets on the fight, and they're like, "You're gonna go see the fight. You're gonna go see the fight." And this man talks to the very old secretary. Very old secretary. Are you gonna go see the fight? And her response is, "If I wanted to see two Negroes fight, I'd throw $1 out the window." It's just the most amazing line I've ever heard.
Well, the guy that wrote the show, Matthew Weiner, what did he write before? I'm trying to remember what he wrote before, but he said though that like, yeah, it's a drama. He's like, but all of my writing staff are comedians. He's like, they write drama and comedy better with like their process of thinking than if I just had a room full of people who like studied drama in college or studied writing drama in college.
So I wanted to say that not all of us are just exhausting, interrupting people. Like Phil hates being interrupted. and Phil is, I think, is more similar to you, Fish, in that way. And like I've interrupted Phil, and it has strained our friendship.
Like to the point where he's like, dude, you just can't stop interrupting me. Like, shut up, or like you're.
Yeah, I feel incredibly guilty over it, and I've tried to work on it, especially on this podcast. I try not to do that too much with Phil because that's not his style, and I know that I'm in the wrong with that.
Were you about to interrupt Tito?
That would have been awesome. You're right, bitch.
Just
I was just wondering if like maybe Megan would know or what your guys' thoughts are, but like do you think it's like an introvert versus extrovert type thing? Like I feel like Phil's super introverted and like he's really like funny and likes to perform, but he's like hella introverted, and I think that's kind of the same with Michelle too. Like both super introverts, but they're like really funny and really great in like small groups or like with their people. And so like, and then I feel like I'm pretty similar. Like I'm really quiet until I'm with like people I am more comfortable with speaking around or something. I don't know. But I'm also really introverted too. And then like Dylan is super extroverted. And then I don't know like what you guys are really, because I only know you guys through like the box and stuff and like hanging out with Dylan. So I only see you guys in group settings. So it's hard to tell. Well, if you guys are
Tito's
extroverts
probably
or
the most
introverts.
introverted person I've ever met.
Tito?
Yeah.
I feel like you're
I
lying.
think he's being a dick.
Yeah, the Tito's me plus with a +1 on.
I would disagree. I think that Dylan's actually more extroverted than I am.
Really?
Really, I do. I do think that.
I think you're both introverts though, right?
Oh yeah.
I'd say I'm an unhealthy mix of introversion and extroversion, like not a healthy one. I definitely have my introverted moments. I don't know what that means. I'm just saying. I guess I'm saying I could definitely work on myself. In a variety of ways.
It comes from like where you get your energy from. Some people think that extroversion and introversion is just like you're a people person, you're not. And I think I'm capable of being a people person, but it drains me to where I need like time alone at home to recover. Where extroverts, they need that time with people to get their energy. Like if they stayed at home to get energy, it wouldn't work for them.
Yeah, I think that's why COVID's probably harder for people like Tito and I.
Because you don't get that energy drive from interacting with people.
Yeah. It just becomes inward. It's like, oh fuck, I got to think about my brain. And like
for me, it was like constant energy napping. I'm revived. I don't have to give any of these fools my energy anymore. It's all mine.
It's once every other week.
But going back to Fish's question, I think it plays a role, but I also wonder if like family plays a big role, because I know it's hard to be introverted in my family. Like there's always gatherings. You can either go into a different room, but then there's going to be 5 other people in that room. So it's like impossible to not be part of a conversation in there. And I kind of had to, and it was like Tito, it was like the funniest person gets the most love. And you have to like show how funny you are and be quick and on top of it, or you just kind of aren't part of the group really. So I think as a kid, I was more inclined to kind of just sit back and try and shy away from it. But then I had to learn to like fit in with my family, where I think Phil and actually I've met their parents and we went to dinner and they're all kind of like quiet people. So I don't think I had to get used to interrupting. I think Phil was probably used to like starting conversation in his family, and same with Michelle. So they were probably the conversation makers. And so they're not used to getting interrupted because no one ever did it to them.
Did I ever tell you the time I met Phil's family in the lobby at the box? I feel like I've told this story 100 times, but I met Phil's family and I'm like, I don't know what overcame me, but I was like, hey, Phil's family. I was like, nice to meet you. I went like down the line. I shook all their hands and I was like making all these jokes and they were like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, okay. Like, I was like making a fool of myself. And then I like stepped aside and then like maybe later that night, or no, it was like right then, like I get like, I'm kind of to the end of the line and I'm talking to Phil and his girlfriend at the time, which was old.
Danielle one.
Danielle.
OG Danielle. And Danielle's like kind of laughing or snickering or something, like, what's up? And she's like, oh yeah, this is my family. I was like, what the fuck? Why did you just let me talk for the last 5 minutes as if it was not your family? And she's like, and I was like, how come none of you said anything? And they're like, oh, we thought it was funny,
Great.
which is hysterical,
That's great.
which is really funny of them to do that, but
Yeah.
fucked.
So Fish, when you are with like gatherings of people, do you feel more comfortable in like lots of conversation going on all at once and like jumping from place to place, or are you more comfortable like with it being kind of quiet and mellow?
I don't mind watching people have like the like group conversations, but it's harder for me to participate in groups. I'm better at one-on-one. Even if we are in a group setting, I will notice someone might get interrupted or ignored, and then I'll acknowledge them, and then we'll have a tiny conversation like on our own. I'm way better one-on-one.
Yeah, I mean, you connect with the other outsider.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've
Yeah.
seen her do this. Like, my friend Beth and I are loud and obnoxious, and Beth was dating this guy that was more fishy, and Fish and him would get along, which was really funny.
I think that's great technique. Like when you notice somebody is trying to, like that's a kind move.
Yeah, she can be nice when she wants. Do you guys have an ideal amount? Because I think for me, it's 3 people. I think that's when I feel at my most, like, at my best in conversation.
I think I'm somewhere in the middle. Maybe 3 people's good. I like big tables of different groups going on, and I like sitting in the middle
Oh yeah, that's the best.
on this one, and then like if I lose interest in that one, switch over.
Uh,
I
don't
used
know.
get frustrated with Jill because she would like kind of do the fish thing, but like it was hard to get out of sometimes. Like I'd be cornered, and it's like I want to go talk to like other people here too. Because I do like those one-on-one conversations, but I also like to try and talk with like everyone at the table or like mix it.
when it's a group of people, it's nice to be able to talk to everybody.
Yeah.
It's like just one person kind of bombarded. And I kind of did that the other day with the teachers, but I think some of the other conversation, I was just like, I have nothing to contribute. I'm not interested in whatever they're talking about. So I just kept bombarding this other teacher who I think likes me.
I think that's how Michelle and I became friends. It was at your birthday party, and we just sat there judging everyone that
That sounds right. I remember that.
we were talking about a guy that ordered wine at a bowling alley, and she's like, "Who brought Fraser?"
Yeah, I remember you asking me, are there going to be other females there? Because I want to get laid.
And that was the first time that Michelle and I touched each other physically.
Aw, nice. Touch each other's labias.
Ew.
I think I was worried. I have to have my comfortability level with people too.
Yeah.
Like if you just threw me in with a bunch of Dylan's friends that I had never met before, I'd be overwhelmed and probably be sitting it out and not talking as much. And that's why I was happy that Michelle was there and I went and did like my one-on-one thing with her.
You said you didn't really know her.
I didn't, but she was like she was just a fun person to talk to.
Okay, yeah, she's super fun to talk to. So you just knew because Michelle was, because I remember telling you Michelle was going. And were you thinking on the way to the house like, oh, well, then I'll be able to talk to Michelle?
Had I met her before then?
I feel like you would have. Why wouldn't you have?
I don't know, but I feel like maybe that was the first time we really talked.
Mm.
I also really go off like my vibes of people.
Mm.
Maybe I met Michelle once and felt like she's got a good vibe.
There's a thing where if guys like Michelle or Fish, they like Michelle or Fish.
Yeah.
Both just like punk ass bitches.
Yeah, I feel like, so my ex, me and Michelle used to work at the same call center, and then I started dating this dude named Will, and then Will always used to talk to me about how he was into some girl named Michelle, and I was like, okay. And then so finally I met Michelle, and I couldn't even be mad. She was so hot and cool. But yeah, and it's like I feel like ever since then, like people like us both all the time. I'm like, I don't know, that I'm not mad. That's like Michelle's hot and cool. So
That's really
You guys have like similar styles and look somewhat alike in a racist way, like dark hair, lighter skin.
yeah, we're just like God.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I find both of them attractive, but don't send us to Paul.
But they're also very beautiful girls. So it's
Yeah.
like, oh, I find hot girls hot. Like, oh, good for you. You have
Really
taste.
progressive, Dylan.
Like that. When I worked at Cheesecake Factory, I worked there with my brother, and I remember, yeah, and Jess, my ex, and I would say, or she would tell me, she's like, a lot of people have a crush on your brother. She's like, I used to have a crush on your brother. She's like, but now I'm dating you. I was like, well, you got fucking sloppy seconds? What the hell?
Such a weird thing to say.
But I think people find my brother. Do you find him attractive?
He's handsome, yeah.
Yeah. See, she wants to bone him.
Is he single?
No. In his heart, yes.
He might as well be.
Shit. Ooh. He's married, right?
Yeah, he's married.
We gotta cut this part out.
Legally, he is married.
In his heart, he's got lots of hoes and bitches on the side.
Right.
Heart and in his pants.
I want to quickly answer this question. I haven't thought about what the perfect amount of people is, but I do know that my limit is, I think, 6 or 7 people.
Noise. What's
Yeah,
happening?
what was that?
I restarted my phone, and it's Yoshi's tongue.
Oh.
Well,
Yeah.
Yep. It never gets old. It's really delightful.
it's not.
Yeah, but like 7 people is the max number. Like past that, it's too much. And then I just like will recede into the background because everything's taken care of. I don't need to be here at all, you know. And it's just work. But 6 or 7 people is like the biggest that it can get, where it could still be conceivably like one group.
Well, if that's the people, everyone's trying to interrupt then.
But you can, yes, but like it's a fun chaos. It's a fun chaos. Also, what I wanted to add is I just watched this thing. There's this monk who has been giving these talks on YouTube, and he started as a dancer, and he talked about how he always struggled in conversation with people. You know, and he'd go see a therapist and stuff, and they'd be like, "Well, learn these conversational techniques and blah blah blah." And he's like, "This is what I wish my therapist had told me, that it's okay for me to be exactly who I am." He's like, "That's just not my style. That's just not who I am." So where do I fit? And now he was this monk, and he would have difficulty with small talk and shit. But what he's good with is one-on-one. And so where he excels is when people are in pain, like they're like in prison or they're in a hospital and they're gonna die. And like where most people would be like very uncomfortable in that situation, he is totally calm, and that is where he feels useful, and that is where he feels at his best. And he's like, I wish that a therapist had just said that, like, I'm fine the way I am, and just to find what fits for me.
How do you think of that, Megan?
Well,
How do I think of that?
Yeah, what would you
I was really directed at Fish, but okay, let's ask Megan.
I'm the communication specialist. How dare you? The questions must come through me. I think there's I think most therapy should be like, let's learn how to be comfortable with you. And that's also a big move in like the autism community right now is we've done all this practice on like making them fit into this mold of what we think like a social person's supposed to be. And it's kind of like ruin their self-esteem. I shouldn't laugh at that. But
well, you're
trying to help them and really just fucked them up.
right. You're schooling though, and I'm assuming as like school, as we become more of a progressive society, like you've probably learned that in school, like, hey, we need to rethink how we approach like special education or autistic people in conversation.
Yeah, so I think there's like middle ground of accepting who you are, accepting your strengths, and learning to build on those strengths. And I think that's always a good thing. But also giving these knowledge, you know, if there are kids with autism that want to learn about how to communicate effectively, and we can tell them like, okay, well, it's good if you ask people questions back or give them eye contact so they're listening, not say like, do this or no one will like you. But like, if you want an easier time at making friends and connecting with people, this is a good route to take for you.
Yeah.
So instead of like saying, oh, you have to speak in big groups because that's what people do. It's like, oh, okay, you do better in small groups. We'll try using these tactics in one-on-one and see if that helps you.
Gotcha.
I'd like to wrap up on this point that we're making because it's late for me.
Sure.
Or I'll leave and you guys can stay. But whatever.
Wait, did you have a point to make, or did you?
No, just what we were talking about, because you reached like a good point where I could jump in without interrupting too much. I just wanted to say that.
I feel like
God, it's becoming meta. Oh, I wanted to tell you though about Tiffany, about a conversation I had that was similar to what. So Tito confessed his love to Megan earlier, or rather said, "Hey, I feel like I made you uncomfortable when we first met." Like, you know,
Not in one conversation, but like for months.
No, it was more like, Megan, I think you were being a bitch to me for the last 2 years. What did I do?
It's fair though, I'm Tito to say that. But anyways, I kind of had that with Tiffany. I remember that I took a class with Tiffany, and then I was no, there was a girl in improv named Tiffany that everybody knows. And I remember I took a class with her, and then we went out with a bunch of people after the class. There was like 4 of us or something, maybe. And I think Phil was there, and he was on his phone the whole time, completely ignored everything. I could be wrong about that, but I do remember Phil did that at some point. And I remember like I was talking to the guy, and like we were having a conversation, and like Tiffany was in the conversation. I remember like I asked her a question, and she's like, "Whoa, like that's a little too personal."
Yeah.
And I remember thinking about, I thought about that the rest of the night, and I was like, what did I ask that was too personal? I'm pretty sure I just asked you like, what do you do for a living or something? Like no joke.
Yeah.
I was trying to reflect on it objectively. And I was like, that doesn't seem personal. Okay. So anyways, that's the precedence now of our relationship. And like, we did improv together, and we'd hang out as a group or whatever. But when her and I never really had like a lot of one-on-ones or anything, I would just remember thinking to myself, like, if that's too personal for her, then she's probably not my people. And that's fine. Nothing against her, but it's probably like, I'm the exact opposite, where I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I just like, whatever the fuck you want to know about me, you're going to know. And so fast forward, and like the friendship gets better, I guess, like if you can call it that. Like I remember I went to her, like the first play I ever saw was her play, which was really cool. And then I went and saw Tito's play, and then I went and saw Elena's play. So now I'm an expert in plays. But okay, so fast forward, and I'm sitting at Bar Uno with Tiffany.
No, just go ahead. Keep talking.
How can I keep talking?
About us. Stop her.
Yes, yeah. Tito's an actor.
I did Shakespeare.
Yeah, he was in Shakespeare, or a Shakespeare play. Yeah. Anyways, I'm sitting in the bar, and like somehow it just ends up it's just me and Tiffany at the bar, and we're having this like kind of open conversation. I just remember kind of like telling her like, hey, or she told me, I can't remember who told each other first, but we're like, hey, like I feel like you don't like me, or something like that. It was very similar to what Tito just said. And or at least I feel like at the beginning it was hard going, and I kind of I think I told her the story. I was like, I feel like I just come off maybe like a little too strong, and like I rubbed you the wrong way at the whatever. She's like, no, I thought you didn't like me, and like we both kind of like, well, I thought you didn't like me, and we just started like making out. Yeah, we said it at the same time. And so she's like, okay, she's like, I have something to kind of admit. She's like, I started dating this guy, and he looked just like you. No, I'm just kidding. She's like, I started dating this guy, and she's like, I'm laying in bed with him, and I'm like, we're kind of just like having a conversation about what the hell is this cat. She's like, yeah, I just feel like like, you know, we've known each other for 4 months now and we're sleeping together. And like, she's like, I just feel like I like know so much about you. And you got to cut it out, man.
What?
You're driving me nuts.
Sorry.
She put something in front of the screen, so I'm talking to nothing. So she's like, I just feel like I know so much about you. Like, we know so much about each other. And he turns over and he looks at her and he's like, what are you talking about? I don't know anything about you. And she's like, what? He's like, yeah, you're a closed book. You just called yourself an open book. He's like, I know nothing about you. I've been dating for 4 months. And so she's like, what? And so she said she started doing a ton of reflecting, realized like, oh my God, I just completely like, I keep people like at a distance and blah, blah. She's like, I just had a revelation in the last 3 days. And it's really funny that you're having this conversation with me because you were saying that like, you maybe asked a very personal question and probably wasn't. And she's like, I didn't realize I've just always kept people at a distance. And it's like, just kind of interesting that we're having this conversation. I was like, whoa, that's kind of cool that it's really kind of nice that we had that conversation and that also she learned this thing about herself. And then also that I probably do come off strong.
Yeah, but she's one of the most closed off people I know. We for the Hive, we would do Ask How to River, where one person just does like 3 monologues for the whole show. You see us do that, and I think Tiffany did this maybe in a rehearsal or on stage for a show. But either way, like she was talking and then she stopped. She's like, "Whoa!" Like that was I feel like I got like a bit too personal, and we all started laughing because it was like, Tiffany, you told us a story about your friend and what happened to them. You told us literally nothing that happened to you.
Yeah,
nothing about you. Like, yeah, she's very unaware.
that's okay. That makes that's. I mean, it's essentially you're reaffirming her thoughts about herself, but it's interesting.
All right.
You out, T?
This was fun.
This is how she communicates with others.
Hey, that's great.
Whatever she got to do.
Well, guys, this was fun. Whether we were all down to fun.
Aww. And that's been episode 5 of Down to Fun with guest native speaker Fish.
Yeah,
Native name.
I want to say that like every time, you know, we were having like a riff circle like around Improv Town, you know, after a show or some shit. You might have felt disconnected or like a little bit in the back, but every time I saw Fish, oh, Fish is here. It was always like very exciting and pleasant. I was always happy to see you there.
Aw.
Yeah.
I remember you telling me that you carried a knife, and I was like, "This bitch is legit."
I do remember telling you that, like, Fish is like.
Was it when we were at the brewery and we were like, look at her knife, and it was like the big long one that I had?
Yeah.
Yeah. Whipped it out, and I was like, "Okay, don't want to fuck with her."
She'll gut ya. Okay. All right. It was fun. It was okay. Well, it lasted.
It
I think it was good.
hours.
Oh shit! It was 3.5 hours.
Jesus.
Trim some fat.
Yeah.
You think it's okay to tell others to trim some fat, Megan? Just kidding. Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
All right.